Hello, 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 everyone, and welcome to Regina and Hollis Crime Chat. I'm Regina, and today with me we have Hollis,
Hello, Regina.
Sammy, Kel, and Midwest. How you doing, Hollis?
I'm great. How are you?
I'm doing pretty good. God is good all day, every day, so I'm actually doing real good all the time. So, doing good. How you doing, Sammy?
I'm doing good. I'm still alive.
Still
Yay!
alive? That was a beautiful video, members, you made, and it was so sweet of you. And I just want you to know we all adored it, Sammy. Thank you for that.
Well, thank you.
You're welcome. And we have someone new on the panel today. We have the lovely Kel. Hey, Kel, how you doing?
Hey, everybody.
Glad you're here. It's going to be
Glad to be
interesting.
here.
Aw. And we have Crystal, aka What is True, or I just said that backwards by how your name says it. So, whoops. How you doing today, Crystal?
I'm good. I'm convinced that Mother Nature needs a hormone replacement because I'm like buried in a foot and a half of snow. But it'll melt by Saturday, so I'm hopeful.
Yep. Well, I'm hopeful for you. Um, so you guys, what we're gonna do today? Let me pull it up real quick. Seth Rogers, Sebastian Rogers' dad, spoke out on Justin on TikTok's YouTube channel. And I think it's important that everyone sees the message that he has to share. Yes.
It's nice to have you, Coco. Welcome.
Thank you.
Yes.
It's good to see
I'm
all of you.
excited to be here.
Yes, Kel, it's very nice to have you. And welcome, chat, and anybody watching. I found this interview to just be mind-blowing. And what an interview it was.
It's very sad.
But it was so telling.
And you guys, if y'all want to see the full interview again, Justin on TikTok was so kind to give us permission to use his video. And if my mod here, I'll drop the link. Go over there and sub up to him, you guys. He did a phenomenal job with this interview.
An
And
amazing job.
yes, he did. This is the link right here. Hey, Black, good to see you. Let's see, who all do we have in the house tonight, you guys, so far? We have Low 12. Low 12, hello, beautiful. We have beautiful Messy Ball. It's good to see you, lovely. You guys, if I'm sounding a little under the weather, I think this pollen and stuff's finally starting to get to me. We got Sammy G, of course, on panel as well. And we have Michelle Mouse. Hey, Michelle, good to see you. Blessings.
Hey, Mimo. I love my Mimo.
And we have beautiful, messy Watt Harris. Good to see you, Watt.
Is he really beautiful, Messy Ball? Wallet
He's
Harris?
beautiful, messy Watt Harris. Yes. Yes, he is.
Oh, I gotta love that guy.
I don't know why he's coming under all the. Well, I unbanned you, dude. I don't know. I don't know why you can't get back in. I promise I did.
I think he just likes the game, the names. He could really make a good income on coming up with some of these names. I'm telling you, he is master at names.
They're funny.
They are. I love them.
They make me
Let's
laugh.
take it as an honor.
Yeah.
Right.
Yes.
Hi, Willot.
Has
Okay,
anybody
so
noticed, is your town getting crazy yet? I went out to town today to do some groceries, and already we've got signage all over the place stating that the roads will be closed on the Eclipse, and I've already seen like 10 or 15 campers.
yep. I'm avoiding leaving my neighborhood. I'm gonna order the groceries and stuff. I'm gonna try to avoid leaving my neighborhood until this is all over with, because we were told by officials to keep an eye out because things were going to get hectic. There was going to be a lot of people from out of town for this solar eclipse and stuff. So, of course, Sammy, you're just like me. You're in the 100th percentile, the full eclipse, right?
Oh, yes.
Yeah. Well, we're also going to be streaming for everyone that's in here. We are going to be streaming the solar eclipse April the 8th. I will be streaming it live for everyone to watch on our YouTube channel. So,
Well,
um,
I personally am thinking about skipping the whole eclipse thing. After that video I watched last week, and you know what video I'm talking about, I'm afraid.
are you talking about the video of the
The
guy that got
zombie video.
arrested
The
walking
zombie
down the
video.
road? Yep.
Yeah. I didn't know if you wanted me to say it, but like, it's like, I don't know.
You mean the man having the Scooby snack of limb, to put it in a nice way?
Yeah. I
Ooh,
mean,
that was really gross.
it's
That was
insane.
unbelievable.
Insane. Insane. I'm just glad I wasn't there to see it, like, in reality, you know. Phew.
I'm like, Crystal, that I didn't know whether to laugh, cry, or be afraid the zombie apocalypse was starting.
That's what I'm saying. That's why I'm a little nervous. Telling
You
you,
never know.
for the love of everything good, snap, crackle, pop. Just don't turn into zombies, please.
We're ready for it.
But zombies? I'm
No,
not.
not zombies, but
I'm never going to be ready for zombies. I don't know. That shit
You'll be
scares me.
fine, Crystal.
I read Pet
Okay.
Cemetery.
oh yeah. Midwest said
Hey.
keep your pets inside during the eclipse. They're saying that your pets could be reactive. You know, they could sense that something's going on, and for sure, we don't want them outside during that time frame.
Is that more
Turn
for
into
Yes.
dogs?
zombies?
I like to watch my cats when there's an eclipse. They kind of like do weird stuff.
Okay,
Kind of like
ladies.
catnip.
They're outside with
Yep.
me.
Yep. All right, ladies. I hate to do this, but we're gonna have to get back on to why we're here today. As wonderful as the eclipse is, as much as I'd love to sit here and talk about it all day, you guys, there's something we come here to do. For everyone out there, take a look at your screen right now and look. Hold on just a second. take a look at your screen. This little boy is Sebastian Drake Wayne Rogers. He is 15 years old. He is missing out of Hendersonville, Tennessee. His father, Seth, is very concerned for him and looking for him. If you have any information, if you live in the neighborhood, if you've seen anything that night, if you think you might be, if you're somewhere and you think it might be Sebastian you're looking at, please call 615 451 3838. That's the Tennessee Bureau of Investigation, TBI. Okay, now back to what we were fixing to do. We have been graciously blessed by Justin on TikTok. He gave us permission to use his interview. Guys, go over there and sub up to him and give him a big thumbs up on this interview. As y'all can see, I have, and I've also subscribed. So click and subscribe, hit that thumbs up, and because he's doing some really good work here, you guys. So without further ado, here's the interview. Well, there's going to be further ado. There's a commercial. Okay, so there we go. Now, without further ado, I just want to. Oops. Yeah.
Hey everyone, hope you guys are having a great night
What was
tonight. If you're watching this sometime during the day or afternoon, past that, hope you're having a good day. Tonight we're going to be interviewing Seth Rogers. Beasley, very respectful in the chat. You know, he's going through a lot. Before I do that, I has been brought to my attention that I am terrible at promoting anything that I do. So please, if you are on YouTube watching this, please hit that subscribe button. Also, if you want to, for merch, I wrote a couple books, children's books. One is called right here, Boundaries, and the other one, which is coming out soon, is called Surprises Are Okay, Secrets Are Not, which basically teaches kids that you should not be keeping secrets for adults. And both of those can be ordered from that website, and you can pre-order the other one along with merch, find the podcast, etc. So before I bring Seth on, I want to talk a couple of things that have happened since, you know, we scheduled this live. Seth, I'm sure a lot of y'all have seen by now. If not, I'll tell you, did an episode with Nancy Grace. And one of those things that came up during that interview is the fact, if you haven't seen it yet, is that Nancy Grace offered Chris Proudfoot offered Chris Proudfoot a lie detector, a polygraph, which on air he said he would take. And then when came time to take it, Nancy Grace jumped through all the hoops to make that happen. He said that the TBI told him that he can't take it, which I'm just going to say I call BS on that one right now. Before tonight, I've been out there. I was with one of the search days that Seth was out there. I was not with his team, but I was with another team that was out there. And I'm going to tell you what, this man is an absolute trooper. He hurt himself and he kept going. He is living on very little sleep. I don't know how he's running other than probably just pure adrenaline at this point. So anyways, without further ado, let's bring him on and we'll start talking some questions.
What if I told you that instead of setting up a green screen, you can just click a button into script and get...
Hey Seth, how's it going?
Yeah, it's going.
Yeah, I know. Yeah, we don't have to do the pleasantries on that. I know it's not going well for you. We're over a month of you not having any rest, right? Constant interviews, constant everything.
Constant something. I don't know what it is, but I don't wish it upon anybody.
No, what you're going through is a parent's absolute worst nightmare. Before we get started, I don't think you need any introduction, obviously, but before we get started on questions and things like that about Sebastian, who this is really about, is there anything that you want to say to the people before we start?
Thank you. Thank you, all those that are helping me find my son. Thank you for everybody who's showing up to search. Thank you, everybody who's putting out flyers, even where they live. Every little piece helps. I want my son's name and face plastered everywhere. And if somebody out there is watching this and you have my file, he's mine. I need you to just drop him off at an open gas station and tell him to go inside and tell him who he is and tell him to call 911.
One of the questions I was going to ask you later, but let's go ahead and get this one out of the way because it goes with what you're saying. Other than what you just said, is there any other message that you would like to convey to anyone who might have information about Sebastian's whereabouts? Anything that you want to say to them at all outside of what you just said?
Show up. They email me. There are people on Facebook that for all these sites send it to them. You know, there's Miss Terry Lynn. She has a podcast. She wants people to send her tips. If you're local and you have a tip, come by where we gather before we go out to search. I live in Clarksville. You know, you'll find me. My truck's pretty easy to make. I mean, there are people. Even if you want to call where I work, call, and they probably won't like this, but call Davison County Sheriff's Department. Tell them that you have a tip. They'll get it to me.
I
I'm
do
pretty
not
sure
know why
I've
I'm buffering
gotten a
so
lot of
much. I
support from
apologize.
Davison County.
Yeah, I'm positive they would get it to you. And at the same time, you know, if it comes up and you guys need to get a tip to somebody, you can reach out to me. You can reach out to Pascal. You can reach out to anybody that has anything. For me, out of all the cases that we've talked about, this one really hits me hard because I am local. I live in Sumner County. It is very, very close for me. This is my community. Sebastian is my neighbor. And even though you're in Clarksville, you are too, although getting from here to Clarksville, there's not a straight shot. But, you know, this is – do what?
I said that's because of 24.
Yeah, I know that's because of 24. They could make a thing, but they haven't. But that's a different discussion on a different day. Like a bypass. But this is my community. And so what I want to say is they are out there searching every day. This is, you know, a lot of volunteers have come forward. They still need things, which we'll talk about more. But if you are local, if you are in the Nashville area, you can devote some time. You know, please, you know, come out and search. You know, drop off supplies. Are they still doing the supplies over by a Volunteer Drive?
No. We are at 127 River Road, Hendersonville, Tennessee. It's over by the Rudder, which is a restaurant on the water.
Yeah, Rutter's in south part of Hendersonville, guys. Pretty easy to find. So if it's that, was it where that place we were searching that one day where I met you out there, where the building was? Okay, so yeah,
Yes.
you go down like you're going to the Rudder, and you just don't quite go that far. And anyways, putting a GPS, but they need supplies. What do you need at this point from supplies standpoint? Obviously, water, food, snacks.
Water is great, but we need eyes. We need people. We need people.
Everybody,
We need
let me
people to
pause
come
it right there
together
for
as a
just a minute. Hold
community.
on.
This is a 15-year-old child that doesn't deserve what has happened to him to have happened to him.
Yeah, I agree with you. And he's a special needs child, which makes it that much more. And so, yeah, if you guys are out, I know that we have. I know that this live was posted in a lot of Sebastian Rogers.
Cash App, money sign, TMBL, I'm sorry, dollar sign, TMBFLEMING is the Cash App to help Seth Rogers with donations to help look for his son, you guys. It's right here scrolling across the
Groups and a
bottom
lot
of
of
the
local
screen.
Hendersonville groups. If you are local,
For anyone
please
that
find
wants to help Seth find, to donate to the cause to help Seth
some
find
time to come out and search.
Sebastian. That's his
It doesn't
Whoops.
have to be a formal thing. You can come a little bit later. You can come a little bit earlier. They are, you can organize your own independent search. There are maps of where they've gone. If you do live in the area, and you have property, because with Hendersonville, as you know, Madison, Goodlettsville, Gallatin, there are some people that have pretty large plots of land. If you have one with anything on it, from water to, wells to caves to any places where he could hide or be stashed, please check. And like law enforcement said in the press conference yesterday, if you're afraid to go do it yourself, if you don't want to do it by yourself, call them. They said that they will come out and help you search. So that being said, let's start here, because this is about Sebastian, right? And we've had a lot of people ask a lot of things about Sebastian, but we don't know a lot about him. So if you don't mind, how would you describe him as a person, as your son? What are some of his passions, some of his interests?
Oh boy, he loves video games. I think it's more like a close toss up between animals and video games. When it comes to animals, he loves cats. Like, the boy just loves cats. He loves cats. I mean, like, if he sees a stray cat, he's apt to walk up. Why is it running from me? Well, son, it's a cat. Trying to explain that to him, and not. I mean, my son got bit in the face by a dog, and he had to have 7 stitches in his face, and he still isn't scared of dogs. I mean, he's not scared of anything except for, I guess, his stepfather.
That's fair. What are some of the memories, like your favorite memories that you have with him? What stands out to you as a dad? I know that you have a great relationship with your son. What are some of the things that you guys like to do together?
Well, I think one of the favorite things that he likes to do with me is road trips. Me personally, I'm not a fan of road trips because he were to drive. Okay, if he were to drive some, that'd be great. But I can't even get him to sit behind the wheel in the vehicle stationary. But he likes to go on road trips with me. He likes it when I take him to go. I mean, he was born in Georgia. We moved to Kansas while his mother was at Great Mistakes. And then she got stationed in San Diego. And so we drove to San Diego. And then she would leave on a deployment, or a half a deployment, a third of a deployment. And we would leave the house. We'd pack everything that we were going to need into the car, and we would drive. We'd go see family. He has been coast to coast probably 6 times. I mean, boy loves road trips. To me, they're educational because never a road trip is never the same. You always can take a different route and see different things. And he loved it. He liked when Christmas came around or summer break. If I could get it off, road trip. We go down to Texas to see his grandma and his grandpa. You know, drive. There's multiple different ways to get there. Drive through Missouri into Oklahoma, stop and see friends on the way. That I think that's one of his favorite things to do with me is road trips. Because also at the end of road trips or in the middle of road trips, there's going to fish. When my mom and dad, his grandparents lived down in South Texas, we go down there and go fish in the Gulf of Mexico. Boy, love that. I mean, there was nothing like going on the boat to go fishing. He got to see baby hammerhead sharks. One of the people caught one of those little 11-inch hammerhead shark, and he was like, "Dad, it's a shark." And I'm like, "It is. Can we keep it? No. Can we eat it? No, son. In order for it to be big enough to eat, it'd be big enough to eat you." Um, showing him all the
Yeah.
jellyfish and stuff that were in the water. I mean, he's inquisitive. He's always been inquisitive. He likes to ask the questions because he wants to know the answers. He wants to know more and more. And it's like, I'm a wealth of information, son. You want to know things? Ask me. You know.
Which one of y'all out here knows what Seth's talking about? Because can y'all hear me?
Yes.
Yes.
Uh-huh.
Yes.
How many of us out here have dealt with an autistic child or just a child in general and had them ask questions constantly? It's awesome. Like I remember telling my son, you can ask me anything. If I don't know the answer, we'll look it up together. You know what I mean? So
Right.
how many of you as parents understand that? Like just oh, my heart is bleeding for Seth, you guys.
Well,
He
that's what
just wants his
parents
son back.
that's what parents are for.
Yeah.
You're there for encouragement and guidance and education and teaching them how to be a good person, a good human being, and being able to take care of themselves and fishing and learning to fish and road trips. And he's right. You can learn so much from road trips.
Yes, you can. I love road tripping. I love road tripping. I love going and doing stuff with my kids. I love fishing too. I
I
mean,
just think Sebastian was an amazing father. I think we're starting to see what Seth
you mean
liked.
Seth?
And yeah, sorry. Yeah, Seth. And I think we're starting to really see more of who Sebastian is
Everything
Yep.
with
Yeah,
Seth just was natural.
because
I
he
think
knows his child.
I think the
Yes.
only nurturing that Sebastian got came from his father.
I agree.
I agree, Sammy.
Beautiful messy ball nailed it on the head. Seth loves Sebastian. And
Yep.
I agree. I agree.
I also agree.
Yep. All right. Did anyone else want to add to that real quick? Because I just thought that was important to point out. Like this man, you can tell. Like and the things he says in the memory, like the things he's saying about Sebastian, there's no doubt in my mind that this man is going to do whatever it takes and search. I got a feeling he's going to search till the day he dies if he doesn't find Sebastian, you guys. Like, he wants Sebastian back. And I believe him and I believe what he says. And from what I see, Seth Rogers is doing the things that I would do being a parent if my child were missing. And I'm on his side. And we're all praying for Sebastian to come home to you, Seth. I just want you to know that if you're listening. And I just thought that was important to point out. Like I get it when he says it, because I've said those things as a parent, you know, to my
Right.
child, my autistic child. So yep. Okay.
It just takes a little bit more time in parenting and answering more questions. But if you love your children, you do it. I have some neighborhood kids that have, and yes, they do ask more questions and tend to need a little bit more time, and that's fine.
But that's the beauty of it, because
Yeah,
my son has taught me so many things. So many things.
right.
It's amazing. It's amazing because it's like once they learn something, still trap.
Well, and that's what childhood is about, is learning and growing and finding things that you enjoy and are good at.
All right, here we go.
I like sharing my knowledge with him. He's my mini me.
Mhm.
What did he have a favorite place that he liked to go when you guys road tripped?
He'd like to go see his mom and my mom and dad. I mean, he liked.
So down
They
in
have,
Texas.
yeah. He likes dogs, and they have dogs. They have a little Boston pit, and they like him. He liked them. He was so heartbreaking when one of them passed on. But you know, he enjoyed it. He enjoyed seeing family. He enjoyed the trip. He enjoyed the experience of it, I believe.
Yeah, I'm sure. You're wearing. I see. I'm wearing green. You can barely tell, but the shirt that you're wearing. Can you show people that for a second? So this shirt right here, for Sebastian, you can get a shirt similar to. I think it's one similar to what you have on. If you see what I have scrolling down here at the bottom, it's bonfire.com/Sebastian-Rogers. You can get one of those. And at the same time, I put Seth's Cash App up here. You can see it too. So if you want to donate to the cause to help with searches, look, guys, I'm going to tell you right now, this man has been out there every single day. He does not sleep. He does not eat. He is definitely not taking care of himself. And searches are expensive. He's not working right now because he's taking the time off to find his son. So if anybody has anything, if everybody between all the platforms that are streaming this right now went to that Cash App and donated just $1, it would make a tremendous difference for him. There was some.
You guys, y'all know I do not support most GoFundMe's and stuff like that. But in this case, I'm going to ask you, because we know it's 100% legit. Whenever I resume play on the video, please go to this Cash App. Please order the shirts. You guys, it helps put the word out. It helps Seth continue to look for Sebastian. And he really needs our help. So I would ask that y'all please go donate to this man. If you can afford it. If you can't, just post Sebastian's missing persons flyer on your Instagram, on your Facebook, on your Twitter. Just share this, please. This is so important. And I just, I believe it. I believe it's what it's going to take all of us to bring Sebastian home. So please, whenever I start, if you can, donate to this.
Something that you said a little while ago, and you know that we talked about this beforehand, and I don't want to talk too much about your ex and his stepfather. I want to keep that to a bare minimum, because this is about you. This is about Sebastian and about you, because you're the one that's out there every day doing things. But you had said a second ago that he was afraid of his stepdad. What has he conveyed to you or talked to you about that you are able to talk about why he was afraid of him?
I found out afterwards. I mean, I found out after my son disappeared that he was scared of his stepfather. I mean, I've seen some of the podcasts where he has used the belt. I mean, if you think about the if you I've been to the school, I've talked to the principal, I've talked to his teachers, I've talked to the SRO, and everybody is like, he's a wonderful kid. You know, he's always happy here. He always wants to make sure, as the SRO told me, he saw him every day, and the SRO was like, it was the same thing every day with him. He would stop the SRO and be like, "How many tickets are you going to give the teacher today?" You know, and
It's
he would.
funny.
I like to think that he got that from me. I have a sense of humor.
You do have a sense of humor. Even through all this, you have a pretty damn good sense of humor, I think.
Well, there's been people that say that when my sense of humor is gone, the world's probably going to end. But you know, yeah, he's got a sense of humor, and everybody at the school was like, they're wanting him to come back. It's not just me. I mean, he has touched the lives of a lot of people. He has brought joy, his smile. I mean, his behavior, his demeanor.
I'm sorry. I know it's hard. Take your time.
Believe he's
I
alive
can.
out there,
I know
and
you. Sorry. Go ahead.
just needs to be found. He needs to know that there are people in here, and I wish he would have told me. I wish he would have told me what was going on, because I wouldn't have let him go back there.
He might have been afraid to tell you because of what might have happened to him if he did. This is a man. Well, I'm gonna table the comment I was about to make. Let me switch gears just a little bit, and I'm gonna ask you a question. And there's a reason. There's two.
Let's talk about that for just a minute, ladies, if that's all right. I'd like to address that real quick. Why didn't CPS inform Seth of what was going on with his own son in the Proudfoot home?
I find that a very big problem.
Yes, I find it egregious.
I
I
find it
agree.
absolutely mortifying. And in my opinion, that makes CPS just as culpable in this situation. Just as culpable as whatever has happened to Sebastian. Because they
Uh,
dropped the ball.
Oh yeah,
Seth is just as much of a custodial parent as Katie.
Absolutely. Mothers get a little bit too much of a leeway when it comes to custody issues a lot, and I understand that. I understand why it is, but I wish they would just look at each child individually, the situations, and like, really, come on, guys. I mean, you've got a kid that's had something happen to him. You just don't tell the mother and the stepdad. You've got to contact the other parent. You
well,
have to.
I would suggest the CPS worker that went to the home and did the investigations to the ones that were just in Tennessee. I'm not talking about the one in California. Um, that person needs to be investigated because according to Chris Proudfoot, she was like, "Oh, it's you. It's no big deal. It's just a misunderstand." You can't do that. You have to, investigate these things. You can't just go, and why somebody would go lenient on the person that's being accused of hitting, why would you not investigate more? So I feel like that person should be either, I don't know, lose their job or have to get more education
Hmm.
to deal with these situations, because we all make mistakes. So, but it's a big mistake.
Right. I don't really know if they have to contact CPS in the state and city he lives in and have somebody from there contact him, or if they can just directly contact him, but he should have been notified. That is his child.
Yes,
I can't,
exactly.
I can't imagine why they wouldn't want to speak to both parents. If if he has an active role in his son's life, I can't imagine why they wouldn't want to investigate him as well, or even speak to him. I mean, just to get some kind of knowledge of who the other parent is.
I think
Don't they have
I
those? What are they called? At lightums, I think it is guardian at lightums that kind of keep in contact. It's not so much a social worker, but they work independently, so they're not for one or the other. They view their own with what they see, in the home.
Right, to
Right.
stay neutral.
Yeah, I just don't know if those are in every state. I know we have them here,
It,
but
But
it's 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 someone
it
who's
does,
appointed by the court to represent the best interest of the child.
mm-hmm. It's
yes,
called a child advocate.
I would like to
Guardian
know
ad
where the
litem.
child advocate is. I mean, this isn't the first CPS call. We're not talking about just one off, because there can be a one off, but there's three that we've heard of thus far. So I'm
Kel,
just
what do
saying.
you think?
I would think that if CPS is involved, that they would need to look at all angles of the situation. But I think the key point is that if they did know him from other circumstances, maybe that gave them some kind of leeway. I don't know. I think it's unfortunate because obviously from what we've seen, Seth was more of the active parent. If she was deployed and she was gone for periods of time, everything we've heard from him talks about day-to-day activities that he did with his son or trips that they did. With her, it was more basic and behavioral issues, and it. I feel it's more natural with Seth. That's just my opinion.
Yeah, me too. I think it was more natural with Seth. Hey, Aussie, good to see you. Shout out to everyone that's here. Goes to White Harris. Welcome. Cracks me up. Hey, Eastern girl. Janet, good to see you again. Sakins or Seekins. I hope I said it right. I know I don't get it right all the time. And y'all, just kind of please overlook my voice and stuff being a little out of place. My allergies are just bothering the poo out of me. So, um, I just want to give a shout out to you guys and say hi. It's good to see you all. Right now we're covering the Sebastian Rogers case, you guys. We are showing the interview from Justin on TikTok, you guys. If you have not gone over to his channel and given him a big thumbs up, please do that. Um, and stick around with us and finish watching the full interview. That would be great. I appreciate you all being here. Thank you so much. And Sammy, was there anything you wanted to add to that or Hollis before we got back to the video?
No, I think we're good.
Okay, here we go.
Two reasons I'm asking you this question, and it's something that we've talked about. So, in a previous interview, not with you, it was asked what medications Sebastian was on. And I'm going to ask you that right now, not to be nosy, but so that people can know. And there's two parts to this question. What medications was he on? And what does it mean if he does not have them right now?
He was on some medication for impulse control for ADHD. He wasn't on anything for his autism. And he had two different types of medication that he was taking, and I want to say they just switched it, but I want to say it was like Guafaced or something that he was taking, and then he was taking another medication as well, and I can't remember the name of that, and they just put him on Risperdal or however you want to pronounce it. Try to get him to sleep at night. I didn't have a problem with him sleeping here. So I never really understood that. I mean, I'm not a doctor, but he just turned around and they removed his tonsils because he had obstructive sleep apnea. So they were trying to they were trying to get him to quote unquote sleep. But I remember as an infant, my son and a newborn infant sleeps like 18 hours a day. My son slept maybe 4 hours. He's always been one that does not sleep, you know, that gets, there's just, medication doesn't always solve all the problems. Sometimes I think parents,
Did it
Is
get
it
stuck?
buffering?
Did it get stuck, Regina?
No, I'm sorry. I was muted. Uh, hey,
Brooke.
Brooke, thanks.
Oh, I was
Thank
going to
you
say,
for dropping in and letting us know. We went to Justin and asked his permission personally, and he said we could use it. But I understand that some creators do get upset and stuff like that and don't want people to stream their videos. So I appreciate you letting us know that. I greatly appreciate that. Yes, I know, Britt. I know, Brooke. Thank you so much. God bless you, honey, for that. Um, but yeah, for those of you who don't know who we're watching Justin on TikTok. He gave us permission to use his video. He said for everyone out there, um, to this word needs spread, but I think he just wants to make sure that we give him full credit and everything and ask his permission, and I respect that. So, this is Justin on TikTok. Um, if my mods would be so kind as to post his link for me ag- again, because that was what he asked me to do to use the video, was to make sure and tell people to go to his channel and subscribe and like. And he did do a phenomenal job on this video, so I even liked and subscribed already. So
I
I,
think
I
I did
implore you all to
too.
do the same. Yeah,
I have
this.
too. I agree with you, Regina. I think this is the best interview that's ever been
You
done
just
by an individual with Sebastian's father.
you took the words right out of my mouth.
I mean, this is what we've been wanting to hear.
Yes,
I agree.
and
So
and
grateful that he did this.
sadly, as bad as we wanted the information, some of this stuff is going to be hard to hear, you guys. I warn you in advance. This is going to be hard to hear because poor Sebastian went through so much that he should not have ever gone through.
Yes, and we did find out he is new to YouTube, even though he's been covering true crime. So his channel is fairly new. So I've already subbed. I can't wait to hear more of him.
Yeah, I think it's really good. And I plan on following him too. So but yeah, I'm sorry, you guys. Let's get back to the video. Or I'm gonna start crying again.
use medication against their kids because they just don't want to deal with it. It was, I only worked part time until my divorce because I spent most of my time taking care of Sebastian. He's not perfect. Nobody is. But that doesn't mean he's a horrible person. It doesn't mean he was a horrible child. Had him set with a routine. I could get him to take a shower, eat, take a shower, lay down in bed, and he'd fall asleep in about an hour at the most. And we're talking about at like 5, 6 years old. It was all about a routine. And there's as soon as we got it, as soon as she filed for a divorce, first thing she did was take him to get him medicated. Now, not only is the child going through a divorce, because the children suffer the most through a divorce, because at some point in time they're going to be asked to choose sides, and that is horrible to make a child choose between their mother and their father. I could never do that to my son. I was good with joint legal custody because I believe that a child needs both his mother and his father. But she started putting him on medication after medication. This isn't doing enough. This isn't doing what I'm wanting. He's not going to sleep. He's bouncing over. Well, take him out. Take him swimming. Take him to the park and let him play. He's a child. He's got to have a way to get rid of all this energy. You can't just, go to work and then come home and expect him to, do what you want him to do. He's got to have an outlet for this stuff. He's growing. And medication isn't always, it was just an uphill struggle.
So with medication, I want to say this too, what you're talking about. I get that. I am very ADHD, and a lot of the medications that they can put you on for that will really just make you an absolute zombie. No personality. It kills who they are as a person until they're off of it, obviously. Now it was report. Oh, go ahead. Sorry.
Look how happy he is with his snake.
And I'm putting the pictures up because I want people to be able to see what he looks like, because the more pictures, the better. So if you see him somewhere, you can recognize him. You get a lot of different ones. So, he's a cute kid. He seems like a sweet kid. And no kid is perfect, right? Like none of them are. But that's what you're there as a parent for, is to.
Okay, who's playing with the bubble wrap? Mute your mic. Okay.
Help them, get there and grow into that adult. I want to ask about the glasses. Well, a couple things. One of them I'm going to clarify for anybody who's watching now. Glasses were found during the search for him, and I think it's safe to say now that you were the one that found them. Correct?
It was one of my search teams. I wasn't the actual person to find him. It was one of my volunteer search groups.
Okay. If I understand correctly, sorry.
Go ahead.
And my understanding is those glasses were not his. Is that what they determined?
That's what everybody knew that off of the internet before I did. So, yeah.
Okay. There was originally reported that he did not have his glasses. Do you know is that a true statement? Is he without them?
My understanding, he has his glasses.
Okay.
That's
good.
That's why when they said they found a pair of glasses and they sent me a picture of them, I was like, that is too close for me to tell. Go ahead. And they told me that nobody was picking up the phone. And so I reached out. I wasn't able to get a hold of anybody, so I flagged down a deputy sheriff and kept him at the volunteer place. And I told them to bring it on. Told them put on gloves, take pictures around them, how they're laying, so on. Take pictures and put on a pair of gloves and bag them and bring them in. Do not touch them. Don't get any DNA transfer or anything like that. And they did. They brought them in so that we could have an exchange and we could have a chain of evidence.
There was something that you said earlier that you were talking about, and I kind of want to. And you and I talked about this a little bit on the phone, and like I said, we don't want to talk too much about your ex and that side of this. But there is something that I did want to bring up because information about you and your divorce with Katie was leaked. And some of the stuff has taken the internet to put a lot of accusations against you. And you and I have told the story, or told me the story of what happened. And I want you to kind of share what you're comfortable sharing. But what I found that was kind of odd between the accusations that are being thrown out about you through your divorce is that those stories are oddly similar, very similar, in fact, to the stories told by Chris when he was basically bragging about the way he treated Sebastian, the way that Nina Gomez, her children were treated and she was treated. It's oddly like it almost mirrors it exactly. And so respectfully, what I'd like to ask you is there anything regarding those accusations that you would want to address?
I mean, she filed for a divorce. She accused me of domestic violence against my son. Took several months. I ended up when she filed for a divorce. Me being the person I am, I was like, okay, well, grab a legal pad and let's go ahead and do a divorce. We'll go ahead and split all the furniture and whatnot. What do you want? Obviously things of that sort. And I was like, when it comes down to Sebastian, all I want is 50-50. He's my son, you're his mom, so. And when that part came up, she went and got an attorney. And the next thing I know, I'm being issued a restraining order for domestic violence and a move out order so that I would no longer have a place to stay as well. I thought initially I thought it was her that I was being accused of being violent against. She told them that I had an arsenal. They showed up with like 20 sheriffs in SWAT gear, armed with assault rifles, fully automatic in California. They walked up. I looked at the lady and I was like, "You're coming in here. Who are y'all here for?" Because I was outside with my son and he was playing with the neighbor's kid, and we're sitting there, drinking coffee, shooting the shit, watching our kids play. When they rolled up, and when they rolled up, he looked at me. He was like, "I wonder who they're here for this time." And I was like, one day they're going to be here for me because Katie's going to call them on me. And that was the time that they were there for me. They rolled up. The lady that was in charge, she she told me that why I was here, why they were there, and I was like, okay. I looked at her and I was like, you don't remember me, do you? And the lady looked at me. She was like, no. And I was like, I'm the father of the autistic special needs child. And she was like, oh, I remember you. and turned around and told all the deputies there that they needed to stand down. I'd comply with whatever was asked, and they were like, they stood down. There was no need for it. All that. Um, you know, that time was before she did this. I was an armed security officer, worked in military housing, and they were like, "We hear you have firearms inside." I was like, "Yeah, I have my pistol that I use when I'm at work, and then I have the other pistol that is used for work because work issues your own pistol." And then I had my own, and they're like, "Where are they?" And I told them they were on my desk, and they were like, "But you have a child. Why do you have them on your desk?"
I want to talk about this for just a minute, you guys, because I'm starting to think that Katie Proudfoot had a whole lot to do with the whole Faith Nina incident. Thank you so much, Midwest, by the way. Thank you. Um, the behavior, the behavior that Katie has pulled on Seth is similar to the situation that uh, Nina found herself in with Faith. Wouldn't I mean? Do y'all see that, or am I just wanting to see that?
No, I see Chris's behavior towards Nina and Seth to be quite similar. It's just that Seth is a man. But I do see. Oh, I hear an echo.
I hear an echo too.
That's weird.
I don't hear it
Oh,
now.
no, I don't hear it. Um, but I do see how they were acting super immature over custody issues. They were acting like children themselves and not taking into account the kids they were raising and how it was affecting them. Kids are not blind to these things. Kids hear stuff. It's just, it's horrible that the Proudfoots did this to both Nina and now they're doing this to Seth. It's really
You know what I
despicable.
see? You know what I see? I see the Proudfoots taking advantage of the legal system and
Right.
bullying and trying to destroy these people so they don't have a leg to stand on to try to stand up and protect these children. They're bullies and they're no good.
Now, is it true that the Proudfoots have money and come from money and
Yes.
can yeah, that's what I thought. There's been a lot of okay. Kel,
Yes.
what do you
I,
think?
I think that they're probably not used to anybody telling them no. So it sounds like, everybody's kind of just went along with whatever their narrative was, and they weren't even informing Seth about what was going on. And, now all of a sudden everything's coming out. So we're ready for it. We're ready to hear the truth. I think that'll help to, hopefully figure out where he's at.
Crystal?
Yes, ma'am.
What are your thoughts?
There's
And I
still
hear
an
an
echo. Hello? I don't know why there's an echo. I don't think it's me.
I know mine happened out of nowhere. Now
I'm
it's
not do- I'm not doing anything. I'm standing in one spot.
Regina might be working on it.
Um,
Um,
oh, this whole case is sad. I don't even I, I don't even know where to begin, to be honest with you, Hollis.
It quit
right.
now.
How do you feel about how how Chris Proudfoot treated Nina, and now what we're seeing being revealed by Seth with his marital status with Katie now?
Well, I think that he is a control freak. I think every scenario is about control with him. So I think he likes to threaten and control. And I believe that, yeah, he's using those same methods with Seth, but in a different way. It's not
Right.
as, as like he can't push Seth around. He can't go up and push him and shove him down and be like, you know. So he's going to try to just attack his character and everything else that's been going on. It's just sad because it's about Sebastian. And, if indeed Katie and Chris had nothing to do with this, which, I'm skeptical of them. But if they in fact had nothing, then why can't they work together to find Sebastian? Because there's power in numbers. And if they come together, you would think that would be more successful.
Right. Because there is a real big divide between the
Right.
mother of Sebastian and the father of Sebastian. It's bizarre.
Right. And if you know, Sebastian's out there and he knows what's going on and he's hiding, I mean, why would he come out? If he knows for whatever reason his mother's not looking for him, Chris isn't looking for him, and there's this divide and he is hiding, I wouldn't come out either if I was him. Not because I wouldn't do it. I would just feel like I've done too much. This has gone too far. How am I going to get out of this type of thing? I don't know. It's just tough. Sammy, what do you think?
I'm really truly disgusted because I see he's truly reaching out to try and find his child, and he truly deeply cares, and he's never going to stop until he finds him. And I understand that. But he has endured so much BS from his ex-wife and her husband manipulating the legal system and using it to destroy and bully other people, and these children are the victims. I'm disgusted beyond belief. That's all that's on my mind at this moment. So that's just where my head is at right now. And as people will see, to come to find out, the legal system should have been used against Sebastian's mother and her husband to protect him from them.
I just want to know whose good idea it was to leave him there after CPS has been called more than once. Who made that decision that that home was okay? With that's a problem for me.
Money.
Mm,
I was just going to say the same thing. It seems like
Money.
Seth has had more struggles, and, Seth has probably had a harder time on his own, and the Proudfoots on the surface look like they have it together, and, that could have aided in them just thinking the situation was okay.
I think Chris and Katie Proudfoot need to tell Seth where Sebastian is.
Yes.
That's what I think. I think Chris and Katie Proudfoot need to tell Seth where his son is.
Regina, I couldn't agree with you more.
All right, you guys. Let's get back into the interview. Someone has a real bad echo.
I think it's just happening. I don't think it's coming from any of us specifically. I can't talk.
Specifically, I got you, girl. Specifically, right? Specifically. I love you, Hollis.
Now we
I
don't
was
have an
like, they're on my desk. You can go get them. 30 minutes later, they asked me to come and point out where they were on my desk. And I walked in and I showed them the secret little pop so that they would drop down so you could actually get them. And they took those, and I still never got my firearms back. That's California. But that was it. So I was hit with this. I turned around. I was living in my car, trying to make ends meet, trying to make sure I had money to feed myself, which was, yeah, it was kind of hard to actually get employment because I didn't even have a residence or an address anymore. Dealing with the court issue, finally turned around and her attorney kept pushing and pushing, and the judge at one point in time just turned around and told both me and Katie that we needed to be adults and remember that we're parents for Sebastian, and told us to go in the hallway and do a parenting plan, and dismissed everything. CPS had done their investigation. Finally, CPS never contacted me. One day I went by there just out of the whim. It was the last day they were closing the case, and they informed me they've been trying to get a hold of me for the whole time. And I was like, well, my number hasn't changed in years, like 12. And they're like, well, nobody had your information. And I was like, well, his mother did. And she didn't even bother to give him that. They turned around and they were like, well, we can't find any evidence of any abuse. And so they submitted that to the court. And the court dismissed everything.
Wow.
Judge said, knock it off. You two go work it out. This is for your son.
I'm surprised they didn't assign somebody to Seth to see what he wanted.
Oh, thank you, Sammy.
Sebastian.
Thank you, Midwest.
Yes, I'm sorry, Sebastian, to see what his wishes were. Just to
you
talk
guys,
to him.
I just
So one thing, hold on, let me try to get this.
yeah, I think we got the Kill left. I think she was having problems, you guys. She'll probably be right back. I just want to say, hey,
Better, so
Salvatore.
we're
Papa
even
Sal in
size.
the
There we go.
house. Hold on, let me pause this. Good to see you. Hey, Jason. Y'all just thunky in the house. I saw Nana's dragonfly in here. Hello, beautiful. So good to see you. Janet, glad you joined us again. Hello, beautiful. Who else we got? Of course, the ghost of Wyatt Harris is haunting us today, you guys. Gotta love Wyatt. Dana Dansbury said, I think the Proudfoots need to be arrested for child endangerment and neglect. Dana Dansbury, I agree. I completely agree. And whoever was on the CPS case against Chris Proudfoot and Katie should probably get fired, in my opinion.
Fired.
Yeah.
Or at the very least, more education. Because there was a lot of I's not dotted
No.
and a lot of T's not
Fired.
crossed.
Fired. We're looking at possibly someone has lost their life because
Okay, you got
they
me
need
there.
fired.
Yep. Eddie, it is
Well,
so
I
good
mean,
to see you. Thank you for joining us. And Sammy, thank you for the $10 super chat.
if you
Sammy
consider
said,
what the
bring
My pleasure.
Sebastian Rogers home.
I
And I
agree
agree
with
with that.
Sammy. I mean, if you consider the outcomes that could happen because of this, at this moment in time, I don't think that person, I don't know. I just don't think we're doing right by our children with people who are in positions to do them right.
I agree. I do.
I
I agree
see,
with all
I
of you.
see the system is broken.
I
But
see the legal justice system has started favoring the parent with the most money. And I think it is a downfall to our children because money
Right.
is not always the best thing for a child.
no,
That
Being
is
love
able to
is.
absolutely
provide
Love.
correct.
Love,
being
protection, guidance.
I think as long as either parent is able to provide a roof over that child's head, food to eat, and the things they need, their medications, medical insurance, and all that, I think that either or parent is just as capable as the other. And I think they need to start giving the kids more of a voice in what's going on in their lives. Because I understand in most states you can't even say which parent you want to live with until you're at least 12 years old. I think that's poo poo.
Yep.
I think that's bullspit. I think most kids, whether we want to admit it or not, know which parent by the time they're
I
7,
was
8
going to
years old,
say, I was going to say
which
about 8
parent.
years old. 8 years
Hmm.
old is perfectly fine. And I agree because, first of all, they tend to lean towards the mothers because they consider them more nurturing. But the bottom line is there are a lot of fathers out there who are living this life where they're not really being heard and their children are in situations that are not helpful. And it's just, I think people who really need to care about the children need to have these job positions, just not pencil pushers.
I
I
got a
agree with that.
question when it comes to custody and it comes to visitations. What would be, I mean, tell me if I'm delusional here. What would be so awfully wrong with allowing the child to have the choice to see the parent or not to see the parent on that visitation? What's the big damn deal? I mean, kids know when they want to be around somebody and when they
And when
don't.
they don't. Yep. And Cads was your thank you for joining us. It's a pleasure having you here. Thank you. Whew. Everyone, Papa Sal said, hello, everyone. How are y'all? Hope everyone is well. We are well, Papa. We are well. Matter of fact, let's get your weigh in on this. I don't know if Kels is going to be able to get back up on panel with us. But Kels, you're more than welcome to come back up. Papa Sal, I just dropped you a link. Nana's Dragonfly, if you would like to join in, you're allowed to come up on panel too. That's for y'all. But you guys, this case, like, I'm sorry, but I've caught Chris Proudfoot in so many lies. Like, I can't go back anywhere in any of the interviews with Seth and find where that man has lied. Like, his story is consistent from time to time whenever he gets um okay, Papa Sal, turn the background down, love.
Yep.
Hey, Papa Sal, so good to
Hi.
see you.
Good to see
I
you
agree with
guys
you,
too.
Regina.
Sorry I'm
Howdy.
late. You know,
Good
Well,
divorce,
morning.
what
speaking of
someone's got a
somebody
real
that,
bad echo still.
oh, I got an echo?
Hollis, I think it's you, love. Try it. Let's
Do I
see.
have an echo?
Yeah, are you in a room? Are you in a small room or close to a
No.
wall or something? Okay.
Do I echo now?
Nope.
You sound like you're in a bathroom, though.
Yep.
Like
That's
a
weird.
coffee can. No, I'm kidding.
Papa
Does that sound
Sal.
better?
You know what it reminds me of when you played telephone back in the day?
Yeah, with
Yeah.
the
Does that
can, right?
does
Yeah,
With
that
the
there we
sound
go.
can.
better?
Yeah, it's
Yeah.
gone now. Yeah, that's
Okay.
much better. Thank you so much, Hollis, for fixing that because we were like, whoa, oh man. Um, Go ahead, Papa Sal. Sorry to interrupt you. The
No,
echo. I couldn't hardly make out what you were saying.
no, it's divorce is I was divorced, and I knew I wasn't going to be around much longer. And I used to, when my son would take rides with me to Home Depot or Lowe's or whenever we were doing something around the house, I would always tell him, I don't know how much longer I'm going to be here, buddy. And he used to tell me, if you go, Daddy, I want you to take me with you. And I would be like, well, your mom, she's going to need you, you know? I don't really want to take you away from your mom. But let's see, that's down the road. Well, down the road came, and that was it. I was done. And I didn't take anything. I gave her the house. I gave her the furniture. I popped the for sale sign in the yard because she didn't want it anymore. So I just stuck a for sale sign in the yard, and I told her, I said, look, and I was angry at the time. I said, look, take the house, take everything, and stick it up your ass. I'm leaving, and that's what I did. Now my son, he said, Dad, I want to go with you. I want to go with you. And I was like, no, buddy, I don't know. I think you should stay. Because we were in California and I was going to go back to New York. I was going to go back home. And when he said that to me, it broke my heart. Like, this is the second time he's told me this, that he wanted to be with me. So I wasn't going to deprive him of him being with me. So I says, okay, I'll take you with me. Thinking in the back of my head that in case he wants to go home, he misses his mother, I just throw him on a plane and he goes back to California. But he never did. He never did. And unlike Seth, I was very lucky that he was old enough to want to be with me. You know what I mean? Because if he was a little kid, I'm sure my ex would have done everything she could to keep me from him. And that would have been the wrong thing to do. Believe me. She would have never got away with that. I was going to see him either way. But no, I was lucky that I stuck it out until he was old enough to understand what was going on. And he knew. Kids know. Kids know. Not that there's a bad
Yes,
guy
they
and a
do.
good guy, but the kids know, like, who starts the arguments all the time, who fights all the time. You know what I mean? They know.
Mm-hmm.
They get it. So and then he didn't really want his sister. His sister was very old. I She was 14 when I married her mother, and then we had Anthony. So she was like a real older sister to him. And she would lock him in his room, make him do his homework. And I found all this stuff out later as I was leaving. Like, Anthony, why didn't you tell me this stuff? You know, it was something else, I was so angry. I was like, she did this to you, she did that to you, and you didn't say nothing to me? What's the matter with you? You know? And he didn't want to make it a big deal. He didn't want to make it fights all the time. And I understood that, But I said, look, we're driving cross country now, okay? I am in a car with a little U-Haul behind me, and I'm looking at myself and I'm saying, wow, I worked all these years, and all I got is that little U-Haul behind me, which was my fault. I mean, I gave her everything. I didn't want anything. I just wanted out. I got to get out of here. I can't take you anymore. The jealousy and the nagging and all the crap. I was sick of it, so I left. And what I had was a little U-Haul behind me. And when I told Anthony that, I go, I'm looking in the mirror, buddy, and all I see is this little U-Haul behind me. That's all we got. And he started crying like he was tearing. I said, look, don't worry about it. You with me now. I'll take care of everything. And we did. We made it. We made it on our own. Today I'm living with him, believe it or not, in West Virginia, of all places. I'm in West Virginia. He came down here for his job, and his job transferred him down here, so he went. And then when my girlfriend died 2 years ago, I He said to me, "Come down here, Dad. Be with us. You got nobody up there anymore." And I said, "I'm on my way." And I left. And I've been down here ever since.
You know
But
what I
That sounds like
discovered,
a
Salvatore?
but
Some of the best people come from West Virginia. You belong there.
there you go. There you go. It's messed up, a divorce, and I feel terrible for this guy because I could relate. I can relate to him, you know. Although, like I said, uh, my son was old enough. I don't know. Like if this happened to him, I don't know when this happened to him. When if the kid was 15 years old or 12 years old, I don't know when it happened to him. But you know, being a special needs kid, you would think. I don't know. I don't really know his situation, but Seth seems like a really cool guy, a really good father. That's worried about him. As for this witch, I call her a witch, Katie. Okay, she's a witch, and this guy Chris. I wish I had 5 minutes in a room with him. You know, I'll hit you with a
yeah.
fucking
You're not
belt.
the only one.
You
Oh,
know,
Papa
you
Sal,
want to
Papa
fucking
Sal, Papa
you
Sal.
want to hit
Watch
the
the F.
shit.
Watch the F.
What's that?
Watch the F word.
Sorry,
Calm it
I'm
down. The F
sorry.
word. You're fine.
Yeah,
You're
I can
fine.
get
Just yeah.
crazy when I'm talking about Chris. Yeah, I know. Well,
Well,
I
it's
didn't
know.
fight,
That's why I
fight.
get
infuriating.
mad.
It's infuriating.
Yeah, yeah,
Yep.
and I really believe that something. I don't believe the kid came home. Okay, I'm gonna be honest with
Hey,
you.
Char, glad you
I'm
made it. Hey,
I
Indy three
believe
one
it.
seven. Good to see you
I
again.
agree.
I
I
agree
agree
with you,
with you.
Sal. I do
I'm
Yep.
That's
too.
still
what I'm
Well,
starting to think too.
I'm spilling my guts. I don't think after she took those selfies with him in the JBs or BJs or wherever the hell they went, I don't think they made it home. I think
a
Yeah,
lot of
something
people.
we
happened to the
know
kid
A
we
on the way
know
home.
she
lot
was
of
not.
people share your sentiment,
We
Papa
know
Sal.
that she's not all giddy about her child enough to be taking photos like that in a store. Come on.
Right, right. I believe she had enough. She couldn't take anymore. You know, and the sad part is she could have just gave him up, take him to a hospital, take him to a church,
Seth
whatever.
wanted him. Seth
I
He
wanted
had
his
a
son.
perfectly
right,
good daddy that
right.
wanted him.
Take him to his
Yes.
father. Here, take him. You could have him. I don't want him anymore. But to do what they did, or I think happened to him, it's disgusting. It's disgusting. And
Absolutely.
there's a place in hell for people like that. I
Yeah,
mean,
there
this,
is.
this poor
Oh,
kid.
yeah.
Well, Papa Sal, have you seen this interview?
No, no. Well,
Oh, Papa Sal. Okay.
Okay.
We
I
got to
Stand
finish
tuned
by.
it.
watching it then, Papa
I
Sal. You
tuned
got to
in
watch
late.
this.
I tuned
I
in late,
know.
and I caught a little bit of it, and then I let you guys know I was here.
I think
Yes.
so far the stuff they've covered you know about, but we're
Yep.
fixing to embark into
Yeah.
new territory.
Right,
Yeah. Justin
right.
on TikTok did this interview with Seth, and he did so good. He got answers to questions that people have had. And like, there's been speculation on stuff and certain behaviors on Sebastian's part that led me to believe he was abused. And come to find out, it
Well,
was
we
that
need to
kind of,
give a trigger
yeah.
warning.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Trigger warning. You guys, we're
Well,
going to get right back into the interview, Papa Sal.
yeah. I never
Um,
heard of this guy Justin, so I'm listening to him for the
We'll
first
go
time
over to his channel.
with
Go
you.
over to his channel and give him a thumbs up and a subscribe. I look forward to what else comes from Justin. He's doing really, really well. So,
Okay.
and this interview, you guys, is deep. He
I'm going to
got
put
the
the
deep
link
stuff.
to this video to his channel in the chat.
Okay. Okay. Let's hear it. Let's play it.
All right, here we go.
One thing that I want to say to the people with this is, oftentimes you want to make sure that you believe victims 98% of the time when they accuse somebody of something. But there are situations where you can tell that things aren't truthful. I will tell you that I have talked to Seth at length about some of this stuff, and I truly, and I would say this even if he wasn't here, believe him. Because I think there's a couple reasons why. So you can tell the way that he shares his story, and you can also tell in his actions, which is the fact that he is out there literally every single day. The other thing that I want to share with you guys from just a real quick personal note is that there are women like that who will use their children, fathers too, but there are women out there who will use their children as pawns, as control in a divorce situation. My mom was one of those. She had my dad arrested in front of me multiple times by violating some BS contempt of court thing. It just sometimes happens. And I think that that's what he got caught up in. And I truly do believe that, because this is a man who has been like, y'all, every single day, and nobody has a bad thing to say about him. So I just wanted to clear that up, because I know that there's been, the internet guys can be cruel. Y'all know that. And so I wanted him to kind of clear some of that stuff up. There are some questions that have come in I want to ask you real quick for the people who are wanting me to share a couple things with you before we kind of go on. So the first one is, so how is he with strangers? Do you think that he would just leave with one if one approached him?
Just no. I don't think he would leave with one because he's apprehensive. I mean, taught him to be aware of your surroundings is what I was teaching him. But I've also taught him that
Good
not
to see you too, Crystal.
everybody is your friend. And I had to do that. There was an incident in California before Chris and Katie came back here. There was another CPS incident in California at her house. Katie let
I didn't know if I was
Katie
in the
and Chris
right
let
chat
a
place.
child into their house that was 5 years older than my son. My son was 7 or 8 at the time, and this kid was 13. And
I'm going to warn you guys right now. Trigger warning.
Okay, good.
Absolute trigger warning. What he's about to talk about is serious stuff. Very serious stuff. Better get your big girl panties on or leave the channel now, because it is about to talk about some heavy stuff. If you are triggered, please know you are about to be triggered. If you're triggerable, you're probably going to get triggered. It triggered me. I was mad. It makes me mad what's fixing to be said. And it's, trigger warning just to everybody. Here we go.
she has a habit of not checking on her kid. I would never let some kid that's 5 years older than my son play with my son anyways. It's like, why do you want to play with my son? There's a 5-year difference. That's a pretty big difference. You're 13 and my son, you're a teenager. My son is not a teenager. He's still playing with Hot Wheels and Legos, and he's building things, he's playing video games, and you're a teenager. You go out and you have your own, age appropriate group that you play with, and they were letting this kid play with my son and they weren't checking on him, and then this kid took my son's innocence and he molested him.
I would have took him right out of the fucking house.
So you take your time.
And there was nothing I could do in California because the kid was 13. But they let that happen. And they didn't bother to try to even get my son help until last year. Here, my son is just turned 15 in December. It means
Even when
he's
she
been
heard the
dealing with an
so-called
emotional,
thud
stressful,
in the
traumatic
room, she didn't
incident
check
for the
on
last
him.
7 years. And
Period. The
I've been
bitch.
trying to help him. I've been
Let me just say right now to Chris and Katie Proudfoot, shame on you. Shame on you for letting it go that long after you knew what Sebastian had endured and not getting him the help he needed. Shame on you. Y'all are miserable and so wrong for that. Shame on you. Let me tell you something. God deals with vengeance and he's going to get you.
These people did not need to be raising children.
Well, even with
Absolutely
the
not.
thud, it was
Absolutely inadequate.
even with the so-called thud she heard in the room. You don't check on him before you go to bed.
Right? Right?
You
Right,
don't
Sal?
check on this. You heard a
You heard it
thud.
from Daddy.
You
He
heard a
said she had a
thud.
bad habit of not checking on him.
Right. The bad parenting right there. I mean, really? You like, my kid was healthy. I used to check on him every night before I went to bed, just to make sure he had the covers on him if he was
Mm,
cold, or to see how he's sleeping.
right, Sal?
This
Right?
lady, I mean, you say you heard a thud and you didn't crack the door to see if he was okay?
That's
Doesn't
what a
make
normal parent would
sense.
have done, huh?
Doesn't make sense. It doesn't
Yeah.
make sense.
No, you're right. It doesn't make sense at all. It doesn't make sense at all. Okay. Oh, sorry, you guys. That part just. Y'all remember the whole thing that was said about Sebastian being in the diapers and the trauma?
Yep. Not being able to sleep.
Mm-hmm. I
Can
wonder
only sleep
why.
at Dad's house.
Yep.
It's not rocket
Now,
science, people.
No.
now we know why, but let me tell you what the part that Seth is fixing to say makes me want to personally slap some people right in their mouth. And I don't believe in violence, but I'd make an exception. I would. Okay.
Well,
Brace yourselves. Brace yourselves.
you're making it
It's a
very hard for me not to curse.
I'm sorry, Papa
You
Sal.
know that?
I
Very
know,
hard.
Sal. I
I
can
know,
tell.
Papa Sal. I
That's
know,
been me
Papa.
all day. Yeah.
I know. So brace yourselves. It's about to get even worse. This next part just about made me want to drive. Oh, let's just say trigger warning again.
trying to get him help. Going to talk to his doctor and telling them what happened. And for the doctor to tell me, she was like, I knew none of this stuff. And I'm like, really? Because he's supposed to be seeing a therapist for this. And she's like, well, he's not seeing the right type of therapist for this type of trauma. I care about my son. And actions speak so much louder than words. And there's just no justification for the actions that I have
This is
seen from them.
terrible.
They're not parents. They're not parents at all.
This is terrible.
And I want to know what happened to my son.
So do we.
Shop Maker Place by Michaels. Respect
Regina,
the
I have a
handmade.
question for you.
Nickelodeon was
I have a
did
question,
everything,
Regina.
but that marked one of the darkest chapters. These are three.
When he says that the physician told him that Sebastian was not seeing the right kind of therapist, do we know what kind of therapist Sebastian was seeing? Would it be something for his autism or?
Can I
I think
pipe
he
in?
was actually seeing a licensed psychologist because they're the only ones that can prescribe medication.
For his
Typically,
condition?
they would go to a psychiatrist who would assign a therapist. And these therapists specialize sometimes in specific areas. For someone like Sebastian, for what he went through, they would assign someone who is specialized in dealing with the trauma that he's got now and assessing him and helping him through the coping skills and different things. And if needed, they would talk to the psychiatrist about the meds, the possibilities of what might help or not help. But that's typically how that works. And I know because I've been through that system.
Mm-hmm.
But that doctor that he spoke with would know exactly who
Hello,
was
my
assigned
face.
as a
Yes.
therapist, and they would know what they specialize in. And if they had maybe two different ones that or
Hello,
two
my
different
face.
areas, then they would know who that child was seeing and whether
Right.
they were, yeah.
So it's confirmed that the physician said to Seth,
He
he's not
was
seeing the
apparently
right
not assigned the
therapist,
proper therapist.
the
Yeah.
proper therapist. Right.
Mm-hmm.
So they were just basically taking him for what he needed as far as for his meds go for his condition as a therapist. And
It
that was
sounds to
kind
me
of
like the
cut and
only thing
dry.
they were. It sounds to me like the only kind of behavioral treatment that they were seeking for him was so that they could deal with him.
Yeah.
Right.
It wasn't
To get
about
him
what
to
Sebastian could
behave.
deal with.
Right,
Yeah.
right. The medication, the problems to get him to behave, his diagnosis, what his issues are, this and that, not the
He
mental
didn't
health,
have the proper
Not
parents
treating
either.
the child
not
for
treating
his
the problem.
trauma.
Right.
Yes.
Understood. Okay. Thanks. I was wondering about that.
Okay. Well, let's get back into the interview, you guys.
He didn't have the proper parents either.
Oh man, you guys, I'm
Right on.
warning you. Like this next part, you guys, this just absolutely makes me sick to my stomach for Sebastian. Just shame on you, Proudfoots. Chris and Katie, shame on you. Period.
You deserve to know what happened to your son. Every bit. And I'm sorry, I don't think any of us were aware of that. And I am so sorry that number one, that he went through that, and two, that as a parent,
Well,
you're
that
going through a parent's worst nightmare, but that's like the second worst nightmare.
my son around his daughter, because Chris has turned around into my mother told my mom, "Your grandson's a pedophile." No, he's not. He's a victim that hasn't got the help that he deserves and that he needs so that he can get over the traumatic incident that has happened to him. That should have never happened underneath their watch to begin with.
Yes. Why weren't they protecting Sebastian? Why wasn't anyone looking out for Sebastian? Everybody wants to look out for Faith, and I respect that they want to look out for Faith because she needs someone to look out for her. But I don't think the right person for that's the Proudfoots, because they sure didn't manage to protect Sebastian, did they?
Nope.
I'm
Exactly.
enraged by this. I am enraged. You guys, this right here, how dare they? I mean, come on. They didn't get him the help that he needed, and now they're going over and telling that Sebastian is a child abuser himself.
Sickening. Sickening. Hey, listen, guys. I'll be right back. I got to grab a cup of coffee.
Here, have me one too, Papa.
You got it.
Love you.
I take cream and sugar.
I was
Me
going to
too.
say, make
Cream
it
and sugar.
4.
What do we got? Cream and sugar. What else?
We're good now.
I'm sugar and cream all the way.
Cream and sugar.
You're
Hmm.
just sugar all the way.
I'm a tall glass of Diet Pepsi kind of girl.
Be right back. I
Oh,
got that too. Be right back.
Papa Sal just doesn't understand. Flattery will get him everywhere.
He's such a
So,
kind soul, Papa Sal.
ladies,
Pure heart.
ladies, what do y'all think about what Seth just said?
I can understand him being mortified for his child because not only was he traumatized and abused, which makes you have to live in a place that you don't feel safe, but he didn't even get treatment for it. He didn't even get help for it. They never ever got him where he needed to be for his mental health, for a better life. No. They turned around and they labeled him the perpetrator. They seen him as a problem.
It's vile. It's vile what they've
Ab-
done. They've made it's re-victimizing him over and over and over again. This poor child didn't get treatment. He didn't feel like he could talk to anybody, I'm sure, because I mean, he probably didn't know what was happening. And I don't know if this is right or wrong, probably it's so much that kid, Sebastian, had to deal with as far as this goes. And it was vile. It's re victimizing him for every day that he didn't see a therapist like he should have. They re victimized him, in my
Yes.
opinion.
Yes. I
I
mean,
feel
not
sad
only
that
that, but you know what, you guys? I can't help but say this, and forgive me if I'm wrong for saying it. Um, we know for a fact that Chris Proudfoot was fixing to have a court date over his daughter Faith, in which either Faith or Sebastian one was supposed to testify. I can't remember which exactly. Um,
Sebastian.
yep, so it was Sebastian, wasn't it? Hmm.
Sebastian was going to have witness to bear witness to something. I don't know if it would have been his own experience as to what happened to him or what he witnessed him do to someone else. So
well,
that's what I heard. He was going to have some input and it was going to affect Chris Proudfoot.
were they going to have a case regarding the care of Faith under Chris's roof due to what happened to Sebastian under Chris's roof?
I think what ultimately we're looking at is there's a chance that this might have broke some other crap loose and caused some problems for them, quite possibly. Because if you think about it, Sebastian is old enough now to have a say.
Mm-hmm.
Well, for me, the only reason he's fighting for his daughter, in my opinion, is it goes back to the control and manipulation.
I agree with
Because
you on that.
And money.
because he doesn't appear to have a whole lot of sensitivity, empathy, or love for anybody, nevertheless his own child or someone else's child that he's in care of. He's been, I know this is going to sound a character assassination, but clearly his history speaks volumes. Married 5 times,
Mm-hmm.
you
Oh, yeah.
know, he didn't want his own child and now he wants her. It's all about control.
Right.
I
Hello,
believe
beautiful
that, but
Maurice.
I
He-
also believe, go ahead.
Hello, beautiful Maurice. It's so good to see you. Sorry, Sammy. I tried saying that for like 3 minutes. Go ahead.
Go ahead, Sammy.
I was just saying, I agree with you, but I also believe that in his mind, that he's eliminating the necessity for him to have to give up any of his money to that mother by taking that child.
True, but I think he just likes to play people like pawns on a chessboard. I think he's manipulative and he just wants to look like number one. And the
Yeah.
more it's like
Well,
almost like
he
this.
looks more like number two, if you know what I mean.
I know, but you know what I mean? Like he has this, he wants people to look at him and be intimidated by him
Shit.
because I mean, he's done that in public before any of this all this stuff has come out. He was saying, he was threatening people, he was throwing his hands in the air, having a fit, telling people off on Facebook on his page. So it's about
Somebody,
control.
And let's not forget what else he was doing on his Facebook page. He was on his Facebook page telling everybody, we've taken lie detector tests and we've passed. He goes on Nancy Grace. All of a sudden, no, he's never taken a lie detector test. Nancy Grace is like, bro, I got you. I got you. I will hook you up. And he's like, hook me up. I'm willing to do it. Let's right now. If we could do it right now, let's do it.
I'll pay for
Nancy
it
hooks
too.
up. Hold up a second. Let me tell you what happened. Nancy Grace hooks him up. Says, I'll come down there to your work. I got this world-renowned professional gonna do it for you, so you know it'll be 100% legit. And Chris Proudfoot goes, no, 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 Nancy. See, TBI told me I don't need to take a polygraph or talk to you anymore.
Oh, I don't. I never heard
Say
that before.
what?
He
I never heard.
claimed they told him not to.
I will
I,
show you Nancy Grace's post after we're done with the interview. I will show you Nancy Grace's post. She called him out on it
can I just shout out to
on Twitter,
Kelko?
on
Kelko,
X.
come back up if you
She's
can.
already
Yes,
back
Cal
up here.
Cal.
I am
She's
here.
here.
Oh, you
Oh,
are.
good.
I
You're
am
so
just
quiet.
I'm just getting over being sick, so I had like a little coughing thing, but
Oh,
I'm back.
okay.
Who's
And
that,
I'm not
Cal?
echoing, right?
Kelly.
No.
Good.
Who's sick?
Hi, Sal. No, I
Who's
said
sick?
I was just getting over being sick.
Oh, I was gonna say keep your distance.
Yeah. Yeah. I won't touch you.
Hey,
And
somebody give Seth my phone number, and I'll take care of Christopher myself. I'll pull a friggin' Hoffa on him.
and to expand on what Crystal says, it's kind of like I kind of got that vibe too that it's always Chris's way or the highway, and it just seems like it was so
Guys,
close to it was so
guys,
close to the time that Sebastian was going to be moving in with his dad that it's sort of more of like an FU to
Right.
Seth that Sebastian's now missing. It's like how convenient.
hold up.
I still have it my way. You didn't win, I won.
Hollis, Katie Proudfoot is the exact same way. Did you not just hear what Chris said about her having his house basically swatted?
Right. Right.
Yep.
I'm telling you, they were two peas in a pod. They are both culpable.
Oh, I'm not saying neither or either is
Chris
culpable. I
wasn't,
think
I don't think Chris was ruling Katie at all. I think they both ruled together. You remember what Chris said on his interview? Whenever two parents get on the page together of discipline, it's a beautiful thing.
see,
Yep.
I don't think that she he necessarily likes to control her. I think it's every other circumstance in his life. So he's one of those people, if you tell him not to do something or he can't do something, he's going to do it. And
Mm-hmm.
and if you don't like it, you know what you can do, basically, because he's going to do it, and then he's going to make up these excuses why he can and why he is going to. There isn't I may, or I'm going to. I'm going to. He's
Okay, I got to read both of these. I've got to read both of these from our chat. Mars said, "Revenge against Nina. He didn't look after Faith. His mother did." Maurice, that is very true, Maurice. And Blondie said, "When someone shows you who they are, listen the first time." In my opinion, very well said, both of you ladies. Very well said.
exactly. I agree.
Yep, me too.
A Cheeto, a Cheeto. Did you hear me? I said a Cheeto. My brain is always on food. A cheetah never changes its spots.
Right.
And once you see someone else treat another person a certain way, don't think for 1 second you're special and they won't treat you that same way. How
Right.
other people treat each other is how they are going to treat you. Know that in advance. It will save you a whole bunch of heartbreak, I promise you.
Agree.
All right, let's get back to the interview, you guys. We got a little while left on it still. I might speed it up a little bit.
That's why Chris doesn't want my son around his daughter, because he's scared that my son is going to do the same thing that was done to him under his watch. Hey, Chris Proudfoot, if you're listening to this, you can't hold that over my head. I told you. You're going to piss me the fuck off, and I don't give a fuck who knows. It's your fault. It's your and your wife's fault.
There you go.
You guys don't deserve to be around kids.
Good. Amen.
Right on, Seth.
Amen.
I
Right
He is,
think
on.
that's,
he is angry.
and I think
Now,
that's been a long time brewing, and it finally came out. And I bet you after
The
he
gloves
said
are
that,
off.
it was a relief to finally say it, because when you
Yep,
bottle something up like that, it will eat you alive.
yep,
absolutely, Crystal.
yep. Now he's sounding like me.
He
Hey,
is kind of
the
sounding
truth.
like
Like
you,
a
Papa.
dad, like a real dad, Sal. Like a real dad. He sounds like a
He's
real dad
sounding like me,
should
right?
be.
Somebody that wants him to, you know. Oh, please, don't get me started, because I'll drop the F bomb every other word. Okay.
Papa Sal, I don't
What?
care what all these other negative channels are out here brewing against Seth. I think this man is 100% innocent in his son's disappearance. I think he only wants his son back. And if I may be so bold as to say, I think Seth Rogers is an absolute hero for Sebastian Rogers. And he's there for his son.
Are they saying stuff bad about this guy or what? I never heard
I
anything.
don't I don't want to start any drama, but yes, there are channels out here that are attacking this man.
Oh,
That's ridiculous. That's
that's where I
absolutely ridiculous.
that's where I gotta go then. I gotta
Shame
find these
on
friggin'
them.
channels.
Shame
Yep.
on you. All of you.
It makes me sick to even know that, because this man is pouring all his time and energy and his everything into finding his son. And there's people out here talking bad about this man, you guys.
I
He's
heard
sacrificing
I
his
heard
job.
It's
He's
sickening.
sacrificing his job to do this.
I
I
heard a
mean,
song today, and I put it on my Twitter, and after this is over, the live,
Janet. Yeah, go ahead,
I
Crystal, and then I can say something.
I thought you were saying "can it" to me. I'm like, what?
No,
You don't want me to say the song?
no. I said Janet, honey.
Listen. Okay. Anyway, the song is called "Talking to the Moon," and it's by
Bruno
Bruno.
Mars.
Yes, and it is so sad because every time I hear it, I've listened to it on loop today, that it makes me think of what that poor man is going through at the end of his night, at the end of each search day. He, it just, oh, it's
Oh,
heartbreaking. I mean, I can't imagine him trying to close his eyes at night, and just, it's got to be so hard.
yeah.
So
I
hard.
like Bruno Mars. I like him a lot.
Well, you'll like the song if you don't already know it. You
I
probably
don't
know
have
it.
I don't have Twitter, but you know.
Well, you have
Thor,
YouTube.
Thor, I completely would like to say I actually completely disagree with you, because it's us YouTubers out here putting Sebastian's face out here for Seth.
What does it
Printing
say?
fires. It says parents that have missing children shouldn't give YouTubers the time of day. I think you're wrong. I think that if you don't think YouTubers should be out here making content trying to help look for missing children, I think that you should probably not be on YouTube talking in
Well,
chats.
take it for
Thor,
this. Gabby
apparently you're a
Petito.
liar because you're sitting here in this channel watching it. So
Really,
whatever.
really.
Gabby
Why are you
Petito.
even watching the channel, right?
Gabby Petito's case was solved because somebody saw the video of her van and remembered it. That they saw it on their film when they were driving down the road because they watched a video on YouTube and saw her van. That's how Gabby Petito was found. So I
Good,
think
good
every
example.
YouTube has things to offer,
Yep.
and we can be a platform for the victims and the families.
There are good YouTube channels and there are bad YouTube channels. Choose
Absolutely.
wisely, people. Choose wisely.
And we can be respectful and sensitive, and there's
And I mean,
definitely ways to get the information out.
we're not spreading rumors. We're speaking on the facts that we've been told by either
Exactly.
the Proudfoots, Seth, the Ellie. So we're
Thor.
not. It's our
Thor.
opinions.
Look, okay.
What's it say now? I can't see it.
There is a missing boy who is 15 years old
Or
named Sebastian
what does it say?
Rogers. His name is Sebastian Rogers. And his father is doing everything in his power to look for him. And he is asking us, the YouTubers, to share this and spread this. Because you know what? Holding on to hope, Sebastian might actually be out here, scared out of his mind, hiding for all we know. And us YouTubers putting his picture up and putting his information out there and letting the whole world know that he's missing is going to do one of two things. If Chris and Katie Proudfoot had anything to do with it, it's going to pressure them into either A, running and showing guilt, or slipping up because of the pressure, or B, someone's gonna see it, gonna see Sebastian's face, and Seth
And
is gonna
I'd like just to interrupt you there, Regina. Thor is
get
a
his
known
son brought
troll.
home.
Thor is a known troll, and Low 12 is one of the mods of the universe, guys. So, Thor, thanks a lot for wasting our time. Don't ever come back. Go ahead, Regina.
Yeah,
I
don't
don't ever
even
want to
give
see him
this.
again.
Don't even give this guy any.
It ain't
Yeah.
about me. It ain't about me. It ain't about how I feel, you guys. It's about Sebastian Rogers, and it's about
That's
Seth
it.
getting his son brought home. That's what this is about. Period. No matter who thinks what, I could give a rat's batoot. At the end of the day, I know what I did. I know what I did. What'd you do other than go troll people?
And waste
Praise
our
God.
time.
And I'm sorry, you guys. I didn't mean to rage about it. I'm sorry. It sets me off
No,
because this
it
case
made
is
me
so
mad.
important.
Let's get
This
back to the
case is
interview.
so
We
Yeah.
are
important.
good.
Roll that footage.
You know, I don't know if you listened to it, but I know that you're aware of Nina Gomez's video, and I'm going to say this based on what I've heard and having dealt. So my account started off as toxic and narcissistic behavior because of the type of parent that I had. He doesn't even want his own daughter. It's what I heard, and it's just all about control, and it's about control with Sebastian. That was pretty clear because as I had a lot of step parents, more than I want to admit, and most of them would have never disciplined me without talking to to a biological parent. They sure as hell wouldn't have hit me. So it's for him. I think it really is control, and maybe I shouldn't be saying that, but I'm kind of like, I'm with you at this point, kind of like, fuck it, because everything that has come out, every word that has come out of his mouth, he double talks. He talks out of both sides of his mouth. He can't keep his story straight in one single interview. So I'm fully with you, and I feel that most people who have seen this going down, have seen everything that's happened, watching it because this case has become incredibly public, are on your side with it. We all feel the same way about them because the way, I'm just going to say it. You're out there every day looking. I've said that a million times. And the only reason you're not out looking for your kid is you're not looking for something that's lost is because it's not lost to you. You know right where it is. You know right where he is. And that's why, in my opinion, I think I told you that too on the phone. So every day you're out there busting your ass. And I'm going to tell you, he hurt himself. So like when you see the way he stands and stuff like that, this man is in pain. Like he's got the massager right now. I don't think there's better timing for me to bring this up. This man is constantly in pain. He doesn't sleep. He maybe gets 30 minutes to an hour a night, tirelessly, while the others were literally I'm just going to say this because I'm pissed off because, again, like I said, this is my community. Okay. They were at the Cracker Barrel 5 minutes from my house on Easter, and then they left town again. They haven't been seen. And I just don't understand that. The last time you saw shit like that was with Chris and Roberta Laundrie. So I'm just saying. I want to kind of go on to something a little bit different because I know that this is taking a massive emotional toll on you. So going to the search, can you take us back to the moments leading up to Sebastian's disappearance and what was happening during your lives at that time, which led him to whatever you believe, whatever you know, whatever you're able to share, what was going on at that time for him to disappear?
I talked to him on Thursday. Everything seemed to be normal. I mean, sorry, it hurts.
I know, it's okay. I know you're hurt emotionally and physically at this point. And if you don't want to answer anything, if something's getting too much for you, you don't have to. You don't have to answer it.
I'm just trying to focus so I can answer the questions. That's all. Pain is a overwhelming distraction at times. Sebastian was going to school. The whole point of him finishing his first year was he was supposed to come live with me. We were supposed to do a swap where she would have him every other weekend, and he would be living with me, going to school. And if she wanted him on his breaks, then she would be able to have him on the breaks. If not, then he would stay with me. I mean, I wanted full custody of my son since the divorce, but I didn't. I don't believe it's my right to take a child's mother away. That's something that the child would debate or would decide at a later point in time. The only thing I wanted to do was protect him. And
respectfully, not every person who is a mother is a good mother or deserves to be.
Makes me feel like shit.
You didn't do anything wrong. You're still not doing anything wrong.
Should have done things different. Wouldn't have been in that situation.
I know that me saying this isn't going to help you from beating yourself up. You're going to do that regardless. But look at the situation that you've been dealing with. It's not, you're going up against two people who are constantly battling you in every bit with your son. It's the same thing that Nina was talking about. They battle every step of the way because it's about control. It has nothing to do with love of the children. It has to do with control. That's what it is. So how do I put it? Yes, you married her. Yes, you've been having this co-parenting situation for a long time. I have talked to you enough, and I've seen you talk in other interviews enough to know that you are not like that. And when you have somebody who is not like that, it's hard sometimes to grasp the full spectrum of what you're really dealing with. And so you can sit there and beat yourself up and say, I could have done this, I should have done this, but you don't know what you don't know. And I don't think you truly know what you're dealing with or have been dealing with.
Just makes me look for him harder. It just makes me want to find him faster.
In your opinion, and again, this is one of those that I know with an investigation, you can be very limited. So if you can't answer, just say you can't answer. And if you don't want to, I don't want to take too much of a toll on you. But in your opinion, what do you think might have happened to Sebastian? Do you have any theories or suspicions about his disappearance that you're comfortable sharing? If not, that's okay.
I'll let you know. I have theories and suspicions all day long. But they're suspicions. Can't really back it up because I'm not in charge of the investigation. But it don't make sense. If there's no scent of him leaving the house on a weekend that was 70, 75 degrees, then he didn't walk away from the house.
I think that it's very, I'm just going to say it. I think it's very obvious he didn't just walk away from the house. If the story that's being painted or told to us is true, and he went out there barefoot, then there is no way that those bloodhounds would not have picked up a scent leaving that property somewhere, and they didn't.
Been
So there's no way that he.
been something. There's concrete. You lose skin cells all the time. You're barefoot.
Absolutely.
Even if you got socks on, you're going to lose particles. They're going to. It's just. None of this makes sense. None of
Zero
this makes.
sense. The only thing that would make sense for the dogs not to get a scent is that if he left that house in a vehicle and didn't walk off like they said. That's the only thing that could make sense. That's the only reason why a dog would not have picked up a scent. Any of the dogs that came out would not pick up a scent. No cameras picked him up. And there, in 2024, people, you don't just vanish.
No. In 2024.
I agree with Seth on that, you guys. And I can't help but think that TBI has some kind of remnants, video or something of Sebastian, because the first thing they did was search a landfill. And correct me if I'm wrong, but why would they search a landfill if they thought Sebastian was? Do you search landfills for people you think are alive?
Excuse me, but the word control keeps coming up a lot. And I believe wholeheartedly what that guy did to Nina was not control, but making her pay, taking the kid away from her all the time, knowing that that's killing her. So what kind of a word do you use for something like that? Knowing that I'm
Revenge.
killing you.
It's called revenge.
Right. Or it's some kind of evil. Okay, to me it's some kind of evil that you would do something like that to hurt somebody so bad. I don't know if that's control or not. And that's just my opinion. It's just the way I keep hearing the word control when it comes to them.
They
And
cause suffering.
they want that other person to suffer. Right. They want them to suffer. So what do? They hit them where it really hurts. I'm taking them to court. I'm
Yep.
taking the kid. That
Yep.
that's something. I don't
It's like a
know, man.
bully.
Doesn't sound like control to me. It sounds like
It's like a bully almost.
yeah.
It's a mix of a lot of negative traits.
It's
Hey,
mean.
Yankee Kyle, good to see you.
It's
Sorry,
very
Papa Sal.
mean.
Yeah, they're bullies. I think Chris and Katie both Papa Sal. Chris and Katie both Papa Sal were bullies. I think that they both had that personality. I think that they were both spiteful people. I think that's demonstrated by their behaviors whenever it comes to custody of their own two children. Um, and it shows. And it's all coming out now. And I'm so glad Seth spoke up because I think this is so important to this case, you guys. I really do. I think this plays a role in it. Go
And
ahead,
if you
And I
Papa.
have
guys for 1 minute, think the only time he hit that kid with the belt was one time, then yous are all fools. There's
That
no
would be
way.
delusional. That would be delusional to think he only did it the one time.
Right.
I think he only got caught one time. I think Sebastian only told on him one time. And sadly, I think that probably what Sebastian faced after that, whenever the DHS worker left, was probably worse.
Yeah. Again, I don't believe he made it home from the Cracker Barrel or wherever the hell they ate. Something happened on the way to the house. And I could be wrong, but that's how I feel. And I figured I would let you guys know how I feel. I can't help it. I don't think the kid made it home. And all this talk about him throwing the trash, the thud, the come on. stupid. None of it makes sense. You hear what this guy just said? It doesn't make sense. None of it makes sense. This whole thing doesn't make sense. So, and bad parenting, yep. You hear a thud in your child's room and you don't crack the door to check on them? Come on. It's ridiculous. Ridiculous. Ooh, don't get me started.
I just don't think that. I'm starting to wonder if Sebastian ever did make it home to take the trash out. If she said that psychologically that he took the trash out because
Yeah, that's her
she
story.
took the trash out in her mind.
That's her
The
story.
same thing that I think of, like when she said she heard a thud. I think she created the thud.
Right.
Truth
You know,
warrior.
like
Truth
And,
warrior.
and,
Are
the,
you
and the
going? Hold
fuse.
on, you guys. I gotta address this real quick. Are you going to report that Seth has abuse against him and leaving marks on Sebastian's neck? This information is on their divorce papers to read for yourself, Regina and Hollis Crime Chat. You know what? You are absolutely right, Truth Warrior. Katie made that allegation against Seth, but a judge said, nah, this is bullcrap. There is no merit to this. Y'all go figure out a parenting plan for your child. And the charges were completely dropped against Seth. So yes, I will report that. I will report that because that's what happened. That was Katie, the last person seen alive with Sebastian. Those were Katie's words. That had Seth swatted, might I add. So yes, I will talk about that. But the fact of the matter remains, a judge obviously didn't buy it, and DHS obviously didn't buy into it. It was just her word against Seth's. And the judge decided that, you know what? Seth was a good enough parent to tell him and Katie to go out in the hall and come up with a parenting plan for their child. So I think that the whatever was reported, I think that the outcome of the case is just as important. But yes. Okay, go ahead, you guys. I'm sorry about that. Just I had to answer that question.
How about you roll the footage so we can get through this video?
I'll walk outside right
I
now.
don't.
And you look around and people have at least a porch light on, something that makes it obvious so that if you're walking around the house, they can see. Nobody has their yard and their house all blacked out so that cameras can't see shit unless you're fucking hiding something.
thank you. Those are the words that I think are important.
I would agree. And
Right
even in the
Spot
dark, a lot of
on.
these cameras can still pick up.
Well, you know, I am law enforcement and I'm
Right? I agree with you, ladies. That right there speaks
not
volumes.
trying to sit there and point
I know.
fingers, but you think for 1 second that the people that lived there did not know where people's cameras were at?
They know. And again, you don't have to say anything to what I'm going to say, but I find it odd that she works for ADT and there's no security.
She
around
works
the
for
house.
home security.
For Brinks. Okay, somebody said ADT. I thought it was Brinks, but okay, Brinks. But so same thing though. You work for them, you get free security systems or at least discounted. So I find that I just have found that very. I'll just say odd, is what I'll say.
Unusual, weird.
Unusual. Yeah, it's strange. So you for a month you probably know every inch of Hendersonville about now and some other areas: Natchez Trace Park, Goodlettsville, Madison, Gallatin, probably Clarksville. And that being said, can you walk us through the efforts that you've made in your search for Sebastian since he went missing, and what has that process been like for you?
Tolling. I have been to Drakes Creek Park. I have been across from there. I've walked through water clear up to my ankles. Well, to my calves. I had water up to my ankles in my boots. My parents have helped me search, and this was just the first week. I've been up and down Happy Hollow, Muddy Hollow, Tear Branch. I've been to the tallest point in Hendersonville. Didn't know that until I spoke to the gentleman that has a house up there.
What's the
I've been.
tallest point in Hendersonville?
There is a road that comes off of. What is it? It's New Long Hollow Pike goes this way. It's the road right next to the high school.
Oh, I know where you're talking about. Okay, I was just curious. I didn't know that was the tallest point in Hendersonville.
It's not,
Oh.
but if you go up, you make the first left on there. I'm sorry, and you take that around. It actually goes all the way up to the tallest point in Hendersonville. At least that's what the gentleman told me that was outside of his house. He was there waiting on his wife to come back because he had locked himself out of the house. But he told me that he had been following it and he had been looking around, and I think that was on the Wednesday after he went missing. But I lost my voice the first week, just driving around screaming my son's name. If he was in that area, he would have heard me. I have a pretty loud voice. And then going back to everything, because now we're starting to research every place that we've been, because I think he's alive, and I think somebody has him, and I think they're moving him around, trying to stay away from wherever I'm searching. See how I've got people that want to follow me around, follow my volunteers around. They want to go in there a couple days after we've been there. We've gone back to places that we put out flyers 3 days later, and there's no flyers there anymore. They're literally ripping our flyers down and getting rid of them. Somebody doesn't want me to find my son. It's not motivation to make me stop. You guys, you can't threaten me and make me stop. You might be able to stop volunteers from showing up because you're threatening people. But this is my heart that's out here missing, and I have to find it. I have to find the rest of me. And you guys ain't gonna make me stop.
The one thing, so there are people that have been following him, that have been trying to interfere with the search, and the level of audacity. He is a corrections officer who works, in a prison with some of the worst of the worst. You're not going to intimidate this man. You're not. What kind of support? Oh, go ahead. Sorry.
I was going to say, I do work with maximum security, but I guess some of them are the worst of the worst, but they're still human. They're still human too. They're there to pay for their crime that they've done. All right. But I'll tell you what, even criminals have an issue with people that hurt kids. All right.
Absolutely.
So do gangsters. So does the mob. So does everybody. Normally, you don't mess with kids. You don't mess with kids, and you've messed with a kid that is autistic. And the worst thing is that you mess with mine, and I won't stop. I'm not going to stop. You can't make me stop. You can't threaten me and make me stop. It's not going to work. Get over yourself. You ain't that important. And I'm talking to whoever's got my kid, whoever's wanting to follow my volunteers around. You're pathetic. And you're a coward.
Well, I can tell you that you're not going to stop volunteers in this area. This community wants to try to find him. And we're not scared. It's a good community. What kind of support would you say you've received from the community, from authorities, from organizations during the search for Sebastian?
I've received a lot of support from everybody. Everybody that comes out to help search for my son, every business owner that allows me to put my son's flyer in their window, property owners that I get a hold of and I call up, and they literally drive over to where their property is and unlock it and let us come in and search. I mean, it's extraordinary, and I appreciate that 100%. When I call you up and I ask if I could go on your property, I'm not accusing you. I'm just asking because this is private property. It's yours. And the only thing I can do is ask you if it's okay if I come on it to search for my son. And I appreciate those that say yes. Those that say no, it's your prerogative to say no, but why would you try to stop me from finding my son? I'm not asking you to let me search this on my own. You can walk with me. You can come with me. Help me find my son. That has been my plea the whole time. I need people to come help me find my son. Heads up, eyes open. He could be around the next corner.
So I know that we've talked about this toward the beginning of this. For people who are local, who want to come help, who want to come bring eyes to this with you, because there's somebody in here who just a second ago said that they're a preacher in Gallatin, and I'm sure he can get the congregation, things like that going on. Where is the best place to find where y'all are searching, how to get there, how to get in touch with the people who are organizing that? What's the best way for that? That's gonna be my first question in regard to that.
We're meeting at 1. We meet there every morning at around 9:30 at the Rudder, at the parking lot at the Rudder. That's where we meet. We hand out flyers to get out people flyers. We have everybody sign in. The only reason we have people sign in is so that at the end we know how many volunteers we had, so we can do a head count. So we're not missing anybody, because the last thing we want is somebody to go missing while we're searching for my son. I don't want anybody hurt or injured. If you don't feel comfortable doing something, open your mouth and say it. You know, I try to split people up so that, they have adequate protection. There are people that literally are armed with my people.
If somebody local to wanted to get a flyer to hang, like a business owner in their window, or obviously there's the yard signs around, who would people contact to get that? Do you know?
If you're trying to print it out yourself, you can always go on the TBI website and print it out. If you're wanting flyers so that you can put them up so that your customers, your patrons can grab a flyer when they come in, swing by. I got stacks of them. UNC left me 10,000 flyers, and we will go through them. TBI has told me that they will print out more flyers for me. I asked for 6,000 the last time I spoke to them. They were kind of like, really? And I'm kind of like, I'll take all you can give me, because I'm not going to stop. I got people tearing down flyers and taking them out, and so I got to replace those too. It just means I have to double my efforts more than they already are.
What about the yard signs that we see? Do you know where those are at?
From my understanding, there is a gentleman by the name of Rip Wheeler that has those. I can find his information.
Okay, I can always update people with that, but I know that I'll put one in my yard. I'm happy to do that. There's one actually right at the corner of my neighborhood, and I'm happy to pass out some flyers and some stuff too, and be out there again to help you search. So I'm glad that you've gotten good support from everybody.
If anyone in here right now, does not know how to get their hands on flyers, that wants flyers to put up to help in the look for Sebastian Rogers, all you have to do is send me an email with your address, and I will
I
send them
did
to
post a
you
link. I
for
did post
free.
a link to the flyer, and it is a PDF.
You can print it out yourself. If you don't have a printer, hit me up. I will send them to you to put up in your area. Okay? Oh, thank you so much, Blondie. Your support means so much to us. And you guys, Blondie is a mod for Evan Freiberger. I'm telling you guys, he covers more tornado warned storms and more severe weather than I think anybody on YouTube covers severe weather. Um, if you're in an area that doesn't or does have severe weather, if you want to know what's going on with your weather, I highly recommend Evan Freiberger for all of your weather needs. That's who my go-to weather guy is. So um, whenever other people are not live covering severe weather, you can bet your batutor. If Evan hasn't been live for 15 hours and fallen asleep, he's covering it. So go over there and subscribe up to him too, if y'all don't mind, and just leave him a little note that I sent you. Blondie will tell him I ain't got to say nothing. But Blondie is wonderful. She's been a friend for a long time, and I really like Blondie. So, go over there and give her creator a shout out too. Hi Simone, welcome. Uh-oh. Okay. Was there anything y'all wanted to add to that about the flyers and stuff, or anything, or anything that we were
No,
just
I
going
just
over?
wanted to let you know that I did post a link directly to the flyer, and that link should bring you to a PDF format that you can print out.
I just want to say, excuse me. I just want to say to whoever is tearing down those flyers, shame on you, and may God have mercy on your soul. That's all I want to say.
Let me say something. Seth believes, and rightfully so. I mean, he believes, and maybe if I was in that position, I would believe too, that they're hiding him. And I don't know, but I kind of find that odd or strange. Why, why, why would anybody hide this kid? They're not millionaires to say, well, I'm going to get ransom. Why? Why take him? I don't understand. Give him to the mother-in-law, give him to the uncle, give him to the grandmother, send him to Alaska. I don't get it. Why? Could somebody here answer me why they would think
I'm
that?
I'm just gonna say because the world is messed up and anything is possible.
I,
Anything.
I get that he wants to believe his son is alive. I understand that 1000%.
I'm praying he is,
Me
but I'm
also.
also
Well,
I'm
we're all praying he is. We're all praying he's found and comes home with a bow tie on and everything is all cool and he gets back to his father. But why would anybody take him?
Revenge, maybe? Revenge.
I could see that in a custody thing or a nasty divorce, hide my son or take my son. I don't think they ever thought it would get this big. Okay, it's on every news channel, it's on every stream. You just talk about it, it's all over the place. So if he is alive and they did take him, they're probably freaked out, like, oh shit, what did we. But that's even stretching it. I don't know. I don't know, guys. But I'm with the guy. I want to believe he's alive too.
the only problem I have with the Proudfoots or Katie hiding Sebastian is Chris is the one that went to Seth begging him to take custody of Sebastian.
Oh, see, that's another thing I never heard of. What do you mean? Chris was begging Seth to take custody of the kid?
Yes, allegedly, uh,
So why didn't he
Sebastian
just
was
do
the
it?
reason that Chris and Katie's marriage was falling apart.
Okay, so then why didn't Seth just
Supposedly.
do it? I mean, that's a gift. You're telling me I could have my son full time? That's all he wants. That's a gift. Just give me back my son then. Thank you.
Well, he was supposed to be there in 2 months, be living with his dad permanently.
Permanently.
But I
Well,
do
that
have a question about that. And Regina, I would like you to answer it for me. Now, be, could it be possible that they couldn't like just move him like that because of his routine and things? Would that upset his routine possibly? Like such a dramatic shift?
Absolutely. Absolutely. If Sebastian is if Sebastian is being hidden somewhere, he is absolutely freaking out, losing his mind. Plus, he's not on his medication, and if he's hyperactive, plus freaking out, being separated from his home and everything he knows, Sebastian is having an absolute fit if that's the case. I promise you. As my son is autistic, and from everything I can tell, somewhere along close to the spectrum that Sebastian might have been, um, in a lot of ways. So yes, I'm telling you, my son's 19 years old. Okay, but he's autistic and he still lives at home. And if he were to be taken somewhere he didn't know everybody and out of his surroundings, he would still have an absolute meltdown.
Because they have routines, and if they deviate off of
From that
routines,
routine, oh, your day's over. Your day is over.
okay.
Like, they have to have that routine and they have to have that stability consistently. Autistic children do. And I know this as an autistic mother. And there is routine for him to visit his grandparents and father. They do that every Saturday. Okay. They get to go see grandparents there, and that's routine. Whenever routine gets thrown off, my son will get either extraordinarily hyper or he'll get agitated and start being aggressive. And it's not like a violent aggressive, it's a like a just a kind of just annoyed, angry, aggressive going around. And you can tell that they're annoyed and aggressive and aggravated. And that's my son. He's old enough that he's got his behavior under control and doesn't lash out typically. You know what I'm saying? But with an autistic child, there's going to be heck to pay if they get thrown out of their routine.
so all the more that just confirmed what I said. Why would this guy? Why? Who would hide him? Who would take him? Doesn't make sense. Sorry, doesn't make sense. God bless him wherever he is, but
Yep.
it's
But
terrible.
we've only got um Papa Sal, go ahead and finish what you're saying, but we've
Go
only got
ahead. No, I'm done. I'm finished.
okay. I've got it on double time, so it's gonna be like we got like 20 minutes left of this video tops. So go ahead and
Putting the
finish
address up for everyone. If you want to go help search, if you are local, look, you don't have to come out for the full day. Lend some time, a couple hours. It's, if you have 10 people lend an hour, that's 10 hours. That's what they need. They need eyes. That's the most important thing in these searches. If you were here yesterday listening to Caleb Harris's parents, that's what they need too. Eyes. That's what Seth needs.
On your way to work, if you're an Uber driver and you're dropping people off, if you're a Pizza Hut delivery person or Papa John's or Domino's, you're delivering food. You're going everywhere. Just if you're a delivery person, period, you get out to more places. UPS drivers, FedEx drivers, anybody that's out there on the road, including law enforcement. If you're out there, I need your eyes open. Please look for my son.
So I'm going to ask you kind of a tough question, and again, you don't have to answer because I know this is taking an emotional toll on you, and I know this question is going to be kind of like that. But the reason I'm asking it is I think that one thing that I have to remind people when you're looking at true crime, current events, things like that, that this is not entertainment. This is somebody's life. This is somebody's family. This is somebody's child, and I sometimes feel that can get lost in the shuffle. So for whatever you're comfortable doing, saying, how have you been coping with the emotional toll of his disappearance? How's it affected your life, your routine? I know you told me a story about your house.
I don't have a life. When my life was a every other weekend or a summer break. or a spring break or a fall break. That's when I had life. My life stopped when I dropped my son off at his mother's house. Then I would just work. My life began again when I picked him up on my next following Friday. I worked before I went into law enforcement. I was working at Allied, and I told them, listen, every other weekend I need off. I was like, I will work 12 days in a row, but you have to give me my weekend, my every other weekend off. Don't call me to work. I'm not gonna do it. This is, I will work all these days so I can have my Friday, Saturday, and Sunday with my son. That's it. My life revolved around my son. And since my son has gone missing, my life is, I don't have one because my life is missing. My son is missing. My mom told me I need to clean my house. That'll help me. I can't clean my house. I can't really clean my house. I clean my kitchen. I run my dishwasher. Can't go into my son's room. He's not in there. I don't want to clean up my living room because there's magic cards all over my table. When he comes in, I want it to still be the same way, like he hasn't left. That way, when he walks into my house, he knows that he's back in his sanctuary. Routine? I don't have a routine. Let's just try to sleep every once in a while. I'll be driving, and I just pull over because I get so tired I can't even focus on the road. I just pull over, give me like 30 minutes worth of sleep, and then hit the road again. There is no stop. There is no downtime. There's nothing. There's nothing but the goal of finding Sebastian.
Regarding the search and efforts and ongoing, is there anything else regarding that you'd like to share with the people that are listening, or anything else in general you want to share with the people that are listening?
Not really. I mean, I'm giving this all I got
I know.
until there's nothing left to give, and then I'll give some more. I'll find more to give.
So, like I said, as you can see, this man needs help. He needs help. So again, if you are local, I know that there are a lot of local people watching this. I know that this was shared in the groups. I've said this a couple times. Please go out and search, even if you can only do it for an hour, 30 minutes, whatever. If you can't, the Cash App scrolling across the bottom of this, the TMB Fleming, that is Seth's friend who is managing this stuff for him. Because when I tell you all this man does is search for his kid, that is literally all he does. That's all he does. He might get 30 minutes of sleep every now and then. He eats enough to kind of keep going on. So he has people that are helping him with this. And like I said, searching can be expensive. So please do help. And if you can't help with your eyes, help monetarily, help, sharing, even if you aren't in the area, like you said, you can go to the TBI's website, download Sebastian's flyer. You can plaster it all over your social media because optics are everything in cases like this. There's a couple questions in the chat that I've gotten a lot that I want to ask. And again, you can answer whatever you don't want to answer. But a lot of questions, and I know that this is going to come up in the coming days because it's already been, so that's why I'm asking it, is in regard to the clothes that he was wearing to Texas Roadhouse. Do you know if police have it? Do you know if they're accounted for? Anything like that? Or are you not even allowed to say?
I don't. I have no idea. I mean, we're talking about, I was in that house for on and off for 3 days before it became a hostile situation. But I didn't get to see that video of Texas Roadhouse for over a month before they showed me that video. So I can't even tell you what clothes were there. That would be something that the investigators would have to actually look for.
Okay. I know people asked, and I wanted to make sure that, they heard it from you. So the goal with this is to make sure that we quell rumors around it, because really when you're searching for somebody, you want to make sure that the truth is what's out there and the truth people have, and getting it straight from you, is helpful in that situation. One thing that I want to address, I want to be very cognizant of your time because I know you're mentally and physically exhausted. But this is something that I'm going to say on my own, because again, I'm on these apps. I see comments that are made. I see what people say about people, and people can be very cruel on the internet. With some of Seth's interviews, people have tried to judge his body language, the way he holds his hands over his head or whatever. I'm telling you, think about how you would feel if you had been on your feet with limited sleep, limited food, an emotional, or not even a roller coaster, just an emotional dive. Plus, you injure yourself while searching. Just kind of think about that before people start giving any accusations about him, because I can tell you, I have talked to him a good bit, especially in the last few days. A lot of creators that I know who he's talked to, Pascal, others that he's been with, who he's talked to, we can all tell you that this man is incredibly genuine, and the only thing he wants in the world is to find his kid. He has good reason to believe that Sebastian is still alive. So the important thing to do is find him, because in these situations, time is always of the essence. And I feel personally, without you having to say this, is that once, I'm trying to think how I want to word this carefully. Once they scaled back the search, it felt like there was no more search except for what you were doing. Even with the search, when it was heavy, they didn't take, I know that they took your phone and they took Katie's phone for a long period of time. I know Chris got his phone back within a matter of hours. I know that they came in and searched the house for a couple of times. When I say search the house, I mean they came in and looked, but there's not been anything done, from my understanding, and you can correct me if I'm wrong, forensically. And I just feel that there's a lot more that can be done. I believe in the power of social media. We've seen what social media can do in a lot of different cases. And I'm probably going to not be people's favorite person when I say this, but get on law enforcement, guys. Call the Sumner County Sheriff. Start asking some of these questions. Ask them why. Because, you could bring Luminol in and see if there was, any injuries. You could see possibly, where he went out. You go back to the Idaho, they were able to get a partial footprint based on this. And he had only been in the house, from what we know, one time, maybe a couple. I'm just saying that there's a lot that can be done that I don't think has been done. And this boils down to being more than just theft and a bunch of volunteers looking. You need law enforcement on this. And it's been very frustrating in Tennessee to see how law enforcement has been in some of these cases. And maybe I'll give them the benefit of the doubt, so that maybe they're not communicating everything, because they do know stuff that we don't know. They know stuff that we don't know. The public's not entitled to everything, but I would hope that as a parent, they would at least bring Seth in on some of that. And you don't have to say anything to that. I'm just saying that. I know that I've had you for about an hour, and I know that you're exhausted. So before we wrap this up and I let you go, is there anything else that you want to talk about or convey to people? Anything else at all?
I appreciate the help, people. I really do. I mean, I know Sumner County doesn't like me. I know that I'm pretty sure the sheriff's office is tired of me, but I don't care. This is my son. I want to step on people's toes. I'm getting to that point where I'm just fed up. I'm fed up with no answers. I'm fed up with I'm law enforcement, but I'm an amateur because I'm not an investigator, and I'm seeing things that should have been done and haven't been done, and it's just it's leading to more answers. I'm sorry, it's leading to more questions that don't have answers because things weren't done like that. More questions and more questions. And I haven't shared everything that I know. But the
No, I know you can't share everything you know. You can't.
I can't. Because some of that stuff that I know that have been through leads that I've gotten, I want to share. But Sebastian deserves justice, not vengeance. My son's going to have justice. And we're going to find him alive. Because if you've hurt my son, I feel sorry for you.
Yeah, I wouldn't want to cross you either in that way. There's a couple things that I wanted to make sure that we brought up before we closed out too. One, I'm going to put this here first.
Yeah.
So if you want to add, I'm going to stop scrolling for just a moment here on the bottom. But if you want to add to Sebastian's reward fund, what's the reward up to currently, Seth?
Absolutely.
You know?
Don't add anything to it currently because
You don't want to add anything to it?
no, I've got some information and I need to go down there and have a talk with that gentleman.
Okay. So never mind. Don't do that. Thank you for sharing that. The other thing that I want to make sure that I share with y'all, and I know this has been scrolling at the bottom as well. If you'd like to go, let me see, there we go. If you'd like to go purchase this, you can go to bonfire.com/Sebastian-Rogers. This makes you a walking billboard for him. You can get in all different colors. It's only $35, which I can tell you, it's print on demand. For print on demand, that is cheap. You can get it in a sweatshirt, a t-shirt, a hoodie, women's clothing. There's all sorts of different options that you have, all sorts of different sizes. And do the proceeds for this, does any of this go towards you once you get it, or towards the search?
It was supposed to. I haven't seen anything from it.
Okay. Well, you can get it on your own then, and yeah, it's a walking billboard at least.
Yeah, there's actually on the Facebook page, there's a lady up here in Clarksville. I think she's charging like $25 for a shirt. I can get that information and give it to you.
Yeah, if you get that, I'll happily post that, and we can do that.
I mean, I'd rather it stay in the community, if not in the community, at least in my community. If not Sumner County, then at least in Clarksville, in Montgomery County, because she has a job. And if we can bring income to her job, then it stays instead of sending out to somewhere else. Nothing against the company or whatnot, but really don't know them. Somebody asked me to design it, and they asked me permission. I told them go ahead. And then this lady saw him, and she runs a print shop up here in Clarksville, and she's the one that made this one for me. So
the next thing, and then there's gonna be two more things that we close on that I want to talk about regarding something that you told me about Nancy Grace tonight as well, that I forgot to say at the beginning, so I want to make people know that you're doing it. But before we do, let me show you this too. So a lot of y'all have been asking about a Cash App, GoFundMe, etc. There is a GoFundMe, and I talked to him about the GoFundMe. And look, GoFundMe's take 50%. So then I said, do you have a Cash App? And he doesn't really manage that himself. He'll tell you that. He'll tell you that right now. But his friend is helping him with it. So if you want to Cash App him, there you go. It's been scrolling across the thing the whole time. If you want to take your phone out and snap that or screenshot that so that you can.
I'll let that up on the screen for just a minute for all of you that want to donate real quick. Was there anything one of you on the panelists, of our lovely panelists, that would like to say anything?
I was just wondering when he showed that first the green one. I don't know if it was what kind of fund it was, but he said no, don't do that one. Was that a t-shirt one or was that a fund?
That
I
was
was
the
just
fun.
okay.
What kind of people would rip down the
You
fly?
can Cash App.
I believe the correct word would be monsters.
Unbelievable. Unbelievable. There's some evil people in this world. It's terrible.
There's evil people in this world
How do you
that enjoy
sleep?
their demons.
How do you sleep at night knowing you ripped down the flyers of a little boy missing? How do you sleep?
I don't think they do sleep at night, Papa Sal. I think that's whenever they're out doing their evil deeds. They're like vampires that just suck the life out of everything.
I just think it's disgusting. Terrible.
Absolutely is absolutely disgusting.
How much more of this video is there?
We are almost done. We've got like 5 minutes, 6 minutes
Okay.
left.
Okay.
Seth, you can tell them that money goes to you, and that goes to the search, that goes to help him. So a lot of y'all are asking what you can do financially. So that's the way to do it.
Yeah.
Now, Holly,
go ahead.
Go ahead. Sorry.
No, go ahead.
So the other things I want to talk about, I'm gonna leave this up while we do. At the beginning of this, we talked about the fact that, or I talked about the fact that Chris said, or maybe I forgot to talk about it. Chris said that he was going to take a lie detector test, a polygraph. He had said, if I recall, on a previous interview, that he'd already taken one. Then when Nancy Grace asked him, he said he hadn't taken one. And Nancy said, if I set one up, will you take one? And he said he would. So Nancy Grace sets up the polygraph. And Chris gives the excuse that he can't take it because of the TBI. Literally have never heard that excuse ever, because it would have nothing to do with that. However, Seth is also taking a polygraph that Nancy Grace is setting up, and you're doing it on Wednesday?
Yeah, she asked me if I would take one because I haven't had one yet. And I told her, sure. And they turned around and called me back earlier today, and they're setting it up for next Wednesday.
Well, and you know what? I believe Seth is going to follow through with it.
Of course.
I bet TBI don't tell Seth he shouldn't take one. They didn't tell Katie she shouldn't take one. And I highly doubt they told Chris he shouldn't take one.
I don't think they could tell Chris not to do anything. I think he's going to, Seth, he's just going to do it.
Yep.
He's on
He
a
wants
mission.
what's best for his son. Absolutely, Papa Sal.
Yeah, he's on a mission. And I can't blame him.
Hollis, Sammy, what is true? Y'all are being real quiet. Do y'all have anything y'all like to add in on this?
I'm just paying attention.
Mm-hmm.
What is true? That's Crystal, right?
Yeah.
Crystal, those are my old sneakers. How'd you get them?
All right.
So I want to just kind of point that out, that this man has nothing to hide. Sorry.
You're a nut, Papa. I love you. I love you, Salvatore.
Say again?
Said, yeah, I'll be there.
Yeah, he's got nothing to hide.
And if the TBI tells me that I can't take it, they need to put it in writing so I can show it to everybody.
I have a feeling the TBI isn't going to give a shit if you take the polygraph.
I'm pretty sure that they won't. I don't care. I don't have anything to hide. So why would I? Why would I? I don't want to hide behind HIPAA.
Yeah, I get what you're saying. Somebody just said something, made an offer for you, and I know that you're searching, but I'm going to pin this up, and if you're interested, you can tell me, and I can get you two together. But if you can read what's on the screen, somebody who has a spa in Hendersonville, which I think is very, very generous of you. But I want your information then as well, because if you're willing to do that, I want to support your business. But it might behoove you, with what you've done to yourself, to maybe take 30 minutes to an hour and take advantage of this. If you want it, I can get with this person, and I can get you with them, and we can get everything set up, so you can let me know. But I think that it would be really beneficial for you, because you and I both know, okay, look, we're not young anymore, Seth. We don't heal like we used to heal. And you know that if you keep going the way that you're going to make it so you can't go at all anymore.
Speak for yourself. I'm still young. All right. I put stuff in my goatee to make it look all gray and everything. Okay.
Is that what you do? Because I put stuff in mine to get rid of the gray, and I didn't do a good job tonight.
So yeah, I think it's called stress, but it's cool. I find myself
stress.
I can get rid of some of that stress. A lot of it when I find him.
Okay, well then you will be able to keep going because you heal miraculously, but it will still help your shoulder. Is that better?
That's better.
Here's to a new feeling. One where
Before we wrap up, and by the way, for that person, if you want to get a hold of me, shoot me an email. My email, I'll drop it in the chat real quick. It's Justin, Justins, Justins on TikTok @gmail.com. And you shoot me an email if you don't mind, and I will happily put you two together so you can help him, because this man it'll help him greatly. I know that. So before we wrap up, anything else at all that you want to say? This is your opportunity. It's your platform.
Thank everybody for showing up. And I thank all those that will show up. And I just need people to keep your head up and your eyes open. He's out there. We're going to find him. Sebastian's army is going to find him.
And you're going to see me in a couple days out on another search with you. Maybe tomorrow or Friday.
Yeah, I'm still waiting on information because I've been informed that if my search groups are out there, to stay away from law enforcement search area, because supposedly they're going to arrest anybody that they catch in those areas searching. So I don't know if this is true or fact or hearsay, but I'll find out.
Let us know, and I will make sure to, if that's the case, I will happily blast that information out there. Because why you would stop people from searching? Because I've been out there. Nobody has gone on this search and has been anything but respectful that I've seen of people's property, of people's time. So why they would want to impede searching for a kid?
Well,
we use the word odd.
Do what?
Say again, sorry. I said I think we used the word odd earlier, but sorry, what'd you say? I interrupted you.
When law enforcement is doing a search, they do grid searches and stuff like that. I could see that they don't want any interference from people who are not trained.
Okay.
They don't want anybody stepping on evidence or anything of that sort. So believe me, I try to find out where they're at so that I'm not having any of my volunteers coming across them. So if you are out volunteering and you are handing out flyers and you see them, kindly just turn around and walk the other direction. Because we don't need to be spending money on bail. Okay.
Yeah, I would agree with that. So I guess if you are going to search, don't do it. With that being said, don't do that on your own. Just meet at the rudder at 9:30, or if people were to get there a little bit later, are they still able to search?
Yeah.
If they get there after that 9:30 mark.
Yeah.
So if you can't get there at 9:30, they're doing it between 9:30 and 5. Get there when you can. Again, if you can donate just a couple hours. Time is free. So, well, I appreciate you coming on and opening up. I know that these interviews take a lot out of you. So, I mean, I appreciate it. I want to make sure that we get the word out like you do. This is, like I said, this is my community. And the last thing I'm going to say on this is what I'm very frustrated with as far as communication goes, and this has nothing to do with you, is that one of two things is going on here. Either in our community, the community that I live in, where I have a child in this community, either there's a child abductor out there and they have not reassured the community that we're safe, or they don't believe that there's a risk to the entire community and there's a reason for that. Those are the only two options that you have here. But being the fact that I am a member of this community, I live in this county, it would be nice for them to give us an update on what they think on that. And that's what I'll say for that. So, Seth, I appreciate your time. Try to get some rest. And that when that person messages me, I'll put you in contact with them. And I hope that you take advantage of the massage. And the other thing, which I know I have beaten this horse to death with you, I know that, but I'm going to say it again anyways. Please call Joe Petito.
Will do. I'll do that.
Okay. Well, have a great night. Thank you for coming on. And you and I will talk soon.
Yes, sir.
All right, have a good one.
Thank you, everybody.
Well, there you have it. Regina, you're probably muted. I'm going to get you a coffee mug that says I'm muted.
I was muted. Well, there you have it.
Told you.
Where'd Papa Sal run off to?
I don't know. Should we take some phone calls?
He is back
Yeah.
in chat and YouTube.
Oh, Papa Sal, do you need a link? I got you a link. There we go. John Davis, True Crime, says having no security system when you install them makes no sense. You are absolutely correct. 100%. I couldn't agree more. It makes no sense. Nana's Dragonfly said, I don't think the Proudfoot family would hide him. They have so much to lose. There he is.
You see, I can't do two things at once. I tried chatting with people in the stupid chat, and I knocked myself off. Meanwhile, I'm talking to myself the whole time. Nobody hears me.
Oh, Papa Sal.
Oh Lord, oh Lord.
Who hasn't done it, Papa Sal? Who hasn't done that?
I just keep looking at my old sneakers.
Regina,
Yes.
do we have time to take some phone calls or at least open the line?
Yeah, absolutely. You guys, I'm gonna post the number at the bottom of the screen, 870-266-6949. We'd like to hear what you guys have to think now that this new information has come out from Seth.
Hey, let me ask you something. They got his glasses, or those weren't his
No,
glasses? What's the deal with the glasses?
Apparently they weren't his glasses.
Okay.
Apparently.
Yes. Okay.
I think law enforcement actually came out and said they didn't think that they were Sebastian's, or they've been ruled out as being Sebastian's, which to me makes sense because you can rule out a prescription rather easily, especially if it's a different prescription than Sebastian's. Yes, Blondie, he does. John Davis, True Crime, said, I have a feeling Seth is about done pretending. They ain't sus. Sorry.
Who called me stupid?
Nobody called you stupid.
Somebody called me stupid.
Who called you stupid?
I don't know.
Beautiful messy ball is messing with you.
Beautiful messy ball. I thought we were in love. What's going on? I love you, messy ball.
Somebody call in. Let's get those phones ringing. I'm curious.
Yes, Marie. I had heard something about they've already sold the house, and I'm sorry. That they're already moving out of the house. Yes, I have heard that, which makes no sense because, I mean, where's Sebastian gonna? Where are they gonna be if Sebastian tries
I heard
to
they
come home?
weren't they moving to Memphis? Wasn't that the
Yes.
latest rumor?
Oh
Allegedly.
yes. Oh yes, they are. And I have to go to Memphis like 2 or 3 times a month already. I'm gonna be standing on their sidewalk. I'm gonna be standing on their sidewalk with a sign, "Where's Sebastian?"
I think Graceland would throw them out of friggin' Memphis. My man.
I want to thank Justin on TikTok for giving us permission to use this video.
Yeah, that was great. I never heard
some
of
amazing questions.
That was
And
great.
if you guys have not gone over and subbed up to him and given him a thumbs up on that, I would greatly appreciate that y'all did that and tell him we sent you.
Yeah, I'm definitely gonna go.
Because that was so kind and generous of him to let us use his video. Yeah. And Seth, I don't know if you're watching or out there listening, but I think that Justin did a great job with the interview. But if you need more people to get your message out there, we're here for you. We hear you, and you guys, I'm sorry, I see the dad that should be what a dad is, looking for his son, and that's just how I see it. I don't think Seth has any guilty knowledge of what happened to Sebastian, but I think he wants to know, and I think he's looking for the truth and his son.
Of course. I would be sick to my stomach. You see the way he says he can't sleep, he can't eat, he can't clean his house. Uh, I would be sick to my stomach every day. I'd be throwing my guts up, knowing, wondering what's happening to my little boy. What's he doing right now? I'd be out of my mind.
And for those of you that are new, welcome to Regina and Hollis Crime Chat. If you guys have not hit that like and subscribe, I ask that you do that. If you want to become a member, we do have members. We do memberships and we do offer perks. Um, but even if you can't become a member, we just want you to know that we appreciate you being here, and we just welcome you to the Crime Chatters.
Yeah, and I just like to say that I see all the chats on my TV, but I can't respond because I get kicked off of this. So I can't do two things at once. So forgive me, But I see you all there, and I love you all. I really do. I love you guys, all of you.
Can I say something to Seth in the case that he may be listening? I just want to tell you,
Absolutely.
keep your chin up, man. I'm so proud of you. You're holding it together so well, and no matter what, just don't lose your cool. Not yet. You know, you're doing so good. I'm so proud of you, and I hate it for you. I hate it. Um, please just stay strong. We're here. We're supporting you all that we can. You're
Yep.
doing good.
If you're
Absolutely.
listening, Seth, God bless you. May Jesus bring your son back home to you.
Yes. Yeah. I've never, I've never, I never in a million years could dream about my child being missing, even fathom it, and not
Nope.
knowing where they are or what happened to them. It would drive me absolutely mad, insane, crazy. I don't think I would, I don't think I would be able to sleep except for where I landed on the ground after searching. Um, I just, I don't know how you find the strength, Seth. I don't know how you find the strength, but I'm praying to God that He keeps giving it to you, because I know that you need it to continue to look for Sebastian. And I'm praying, and we're all praying that answers come, and Sebastian is found and brought home to you.
Yep. Terrible thing to lose a child. Terrible, terrible thing. It doesn't go
Even
away.
worse, even worse to have him stolen from you.
Ugh, please.
So
You'd see the devil come out in me, boy. I tell you that.
I think the gloves are off for Seth now. I think he's finally frustrated to the point that the gloves are off. No more niceties. Sebastian's been missing for a month and a half almost. No, it has been a month and a half. Almost. No, it's been a month and a week or so, but almost a month and 2 weeks. And the fact of the matter remains, he doesn't know where his son is. And I know he's wearing thin. I would be wore thin if I were a parent and my child were missing. Like, I mean, I am a parent, but if my child were missing like this, I, I'm telling y'all, people just wouldn't be able to put up with me. I'd be screaming it, running around like an idiot, looking everywhere, not giving a crap about people's privacy or respecting anything. Because all I could focus. I'm telling you, he's got more saying it. He's got to be doing a better job than I would if it was my son missing.
Yeah, me too.
Regina, I'm gonna have to run. I have to go pick up my kid, but I'll just say that's a wrap for me, and y'all keep discussing. And I'd love for somebody to call in, give us your opinion
Okay,
about it.
Alice. Take
And
care, my
thanks
love.
for sharing. This
Thank
was a
you,
fun
Hollis.
video. Thank you, Sammy. What is true, Sal, Regina, all the mods. You all know who you are. All right, I'll talk to y'all tomorrow.
Bye,
Somebody please call
Hollis.
in. I know you've got stuff to say.
Be
I know
safe.
you do. Bye, guys.
I guess it would
Bye.
help if I
Bye.
give me just a second
You
to get
didn't
that
turn it
over.
on, did you?
Yeah, I did.
All right. You're like, let me just see. I got my eye on you. I think that this whole thing is sad. And once again, there were so many opportunities to prevent this situation of becoming a reality. Um, I'm heartbroken, and I can't imagine, and I'm not even gonna pretend like I could. I admire him because he is not giving up, and you can see the love for his son, and that's what's keeping him going. And
Michelle Mouse.
that's
Absolutely.
important.
Why would we not? Why would we not? We love you, girl. Just saying. Sorry, Crystal. Yeah, I completely agree with you. I completely agree with you.
It's just, and I feel so bad for Sebastian. I mean,
Yes.
he's probably been scared and confused and just not knowing why all of these things were happening. You know, it's going to be hard as a child not knowing of not knowing what a happiness is, I guess, and in the way that you should have in every family, normal family, I guess.
I just don't understand. Like, if I were a parent, my kid was missing like this, I don't see how I could ever be happy again until I knew where they were and
Well,
what happened to them.
what kills me, and I think one of the big concerns I have with Katie is I don't see her. I see her pleading for her child, regardless if it's to him, saying, Sebastian, if you're out there, you can hear this, please come home. You're not in any trouble. I love you. Nothing to anybody that might have her child, saying, please bring him home, let him go. I love him. He's my son. I'm begging you. We haven't heard any of that. And
Because that's not inside of her.
right.
It's not in her.
And that's the part that I think hurts because once again, we're talking about a child who probably doesn't know this is probably or was his normal. You know, the disdain and the being ignored and not having his feelings validated. In my example is lack of therapy when he needed it. Um, there's a miss. There's something. There's a wire not crossing correctly, but I just don't feel the love of a mother to a child. And once again, this child still loves his mother and his father, I'm sure, because that's what kids do. They love their moms and they love their dads, regardless of how bad that parent is. You
Yeah.
still love them.
Yeah.
Absolutely agree. Hello,
Terrible.
Michelle Johnson. Good to see you again. Go ahead, Papa Sal. Sorry.
No, no. Go ahead. Go ahead. Because I get crazy sometimes, and I know you don't like me cursing, but it drives me out of my mind. None of it makes sense. I'm sorry. None of it makes sense. That's how I feel. You know? Crazy.
And
None of
there's so many kids out there that are living the same life at this very same moment and going through the same things that Sebastian was going through before he went missing.
Yeah.
And somebody needs to pay attention, open their eyes.
Mich- Michelle Mouse said, and you guys, this is a sad and it's a hit to the gut thinking about it, but uh, it may become the reality that everyone has to accept, sadly. And I pray that's not the case. But Michelle Mouse said the results may be just like the Wells family, non-existence,
Yeah.
and that is a terrifying thought for poor Seth. You guys,
I think that
absolutely.
would break his heart and he would die of a broken heart. And I believe that's what will happen to him if he does not find his son. And
Yeah.
I hope that doesn't happen. I hope Sebastian's found alive and he's brought back.
Me too.
And that he
Too.
never feels fear again.
Yep.
Ever again.
He should feel nothing but love and warmth from his family. Should never have to go through anything he went through before this all happened. It's ridiculous. Nothing but
You
love.
guys, right. Absolutely, Papa Sal. You guys, Sammy has the link posted here that y'all can see if you click it. I can't click it because it's part of my chat stream. But if you click that link, it will take you to the TBI document for Sebastian to print out flyers for Sebastian. If y'all can't print them out, if you will send me an email at Regina_is_queen at yahoo.com, I will gladly, and send me an address to ship them to. I will gladly ship you flyers.
By the way, Sammy, do we have any resources we could share about
Sure.
in the chat, maybe? Or maybe you could talk about a few good resources.
The sad part about this is
There's
that
one.
there's so many of it going around. There's so
Thank
many
you.
child abuses going around. It's so sad.
I believe Sammy might have more, but that was one she had given me to put up for it involving this case originally. So
Yeah.
And Papa Sal, you know what you just said. I agree with you. There's just some people that should not be parents. They shouldn't.
Yeah.
And there's so many people that long to be parents and can't be.
They want a child so bad and they can't have one.
Mm-hmm.
Come on. That's what I'm saying. You don't want the kid, just give it to a hospital or a church. Don't don't kill the kid or do something really mean to him. I mean, it just doesn't make sense. It's weird. I wish the mothers out there that can't take their kids no more, just bring them to a hospital or a church. They'll provide them with a good home, food. You know what I mean? Don't abuse them. If that makes any sense.
well, you guys, the phone lines are open. But if we don't start getting some callers soon, you guys, I think we're gonna start wrapping it up because we've been live for almost 3.5 hours now. Um, I don't know if he's alive. I pray that he's alive. But even if he's not alive, Sebastian is out there somewhere. And I think that we can all do our part to help bring this little boy home. I really do. So if you guys would be so kind as to share everywhere Sebastian's photo to the link Sammy right here has posted. If you guys would just go to this website and share this flyer of Sebastian, it would help so much. Post it to your Instagram, your Twitter, your TikTok, your YouTube, your Facebook, your Snapchat. Uh, I don't know if I said Instagram. There's so many different apps out here you can share it on. If y'all would be so kind as to share it everywhere. Sebastian Rogers. He's 15 years old. He's autistic. He has um, brown hair, light brown hair, and brown eyes. Um, a big, beautiful smile, and his family just wants to bring him home. So anyone that could help do that, I know that Seth would greatly, greatly appreciate that.
Yeah, just look at the big smile Seth has on his face in this picture here. Unbelievable.
I'm
And
so
that,
sad. Go ahead.
yeah, no, how happy they both look. You don't see none of that on friggin' Chris's pages or pictures. Just
You can
throwing that
see
out.
the light. You can see the light in Sebastian's eyes with his father. That his whole face and his eyes are smiling.
Yeah.
So,
What a sin.
yeah.
What a fucking friggin' sin. Sorry. What a sin.
All right, you guys. I'd like to thank everyone for being here. Papa Sal, Sammy, What is True, Kel, all of our guests. Um, yes, Nana, absolutely. We are definitely praying for Seth. Absolutely. And Hollis, thank you for being here tonight, you guys. But oh no, I guess I'm just kind of drained. Like I'm so exhausted. Like just
I
it just
understand. I get it.
yeah,
No, it
yeah,
knocks the wind out of all of us, I think. We all get exhausted. How much more could we say? You know, it's terrible.
it is.
I, I just want to remind Seth just to keep on trucking, keep your chin up, don't let nobody screw up your attitude because you got it going on, man. We're we're we are. I wish I could be there. Um, I would help all that I could, but if there is anything any one of us can do, just keep contacting all of us and letting us know what it is that you need, because we are here to help.
Yeah.
Michelle Mouse, it wouldn't be the first time somebody got rid of a witness they didn't want to testify, would it? I'm just saying, it's all things are possible. I agree.
Mhm.
I just want to say thank you to everyone that's been here this evening. And Seth, if you're out there and you can hear us again, I'm sending prayers and good thoughts to you and Sebastian. And Sebastian, if you're out there, I hope you're warm and you're safe and you're not hungry.
Yeah.
And if you're out there and you're scared, just find somebody safe and tell them who you are. And for the rest of the people out there, just remember, share a smile, save a life. It does make a difference. Kindness can change a person's reflection of themselves. So I'm just beat too. This is just, this shouldn't be happening and it's draining. And thank you to all the people out there that are helping search for Sebastian. And I would like to recommend that everyone leave your outside light on in honor of Sebastian, because maybe it might be your light that he's drawn home to.
Yes.
Yeah.
Also, for those of you parents who are maybe dealing with an autistic child and you're needing some help, there are support groups out here for you. Um, Send me an email, call me, or Sammy G has posted the Autism Awareness Foundation, their link that helps parents with better understanding their child who are autistic. And thank you, Sammy, for that, by the way. And Sammy, was there anything else you wanted to add, beautiful?
No, I think I have pretty much said all there is that I can say. I just want to remind Seth not to allow anyone to break him down and just keep up the good work. I'm really proud of him and I feel so bad for him. So I just want to say, we love you. We're here for you. Keep reaching out.
Amen. And again, one more time, here is that site for the flyer for Sebastian Rogers to go to this webpage and copy and paste it and share it with everything, or just share it with everyone. Let's help get the word about Sebastian out there and do our part to help bring Sebastian home, you guys. And with that said, what is true, aka Crystal? Is there anything you wanted to add?
No, just good night. Be safe to everyone. Hug your loved ones.
Absolutely.
And
Papa,
night to all of you.
night, Crystal. We
Regina.
love you.
Night
Thank you
night.
so much for being here, you guys. Papa
Bye.
Sal, was there anything you'd like to add? Oh, honey, that was attractive. Thanks for doing that during my live.
No, I just want to say I love all you guys.
I was talking to my husband.
You do a special thing, with this, and it's good that it's being done. And for Seth, if he is listening, be strong, buddy. Be strong. Keep barreling through, because I know I would be. Don't let these bastards get you down. Keep going.
Yeah, it was low 12. You're right about that. Thank you, Lat. And yes, Papa Sal. Yes. Um, this I'm praying for the best outcome in this case. But
Yeah.
hope looks bleak sometimes, but you still got to have faith. Never let go of faith, and I don't think that Seth is ever going to let go of faith for Sebastian. So, with that said, you guys, Papa Sal, good night. We love you. Thank you for being here.
Sleep well, guys. Sleep well.
You too. Sammy, I will see you here in just a few minutes on Discord, you guys, okay? Um, so I'll meet
Okay.
you in there, Sammy. I love you, girl. Thank you for being here. You guys were wonderful. Thank you so much. And um, with that said, you guys, look, lock your doors and windows and stay vigilant. You never know whenever trouble is afoot. Um, Share an act of kindness with somebody. You never know. Just a simple smile could be the difference in life and death. Be kind to one another and help one another. Um, if we don't help each other, who is going to help us? If we don't help ourselves, who is going to help us? But God. Keep that in mind whenever you're out here dealing with everything, because there's always hope. And you just, you got to look out for one another and love one another. And I think that's the best way to prevent all of this, is with loving hearts. And if you see something, say something, because there are people out here that don't have loving hearts. Report it. Um, I know I'm going to do my part, and I hope that you guys do yours too, to help with justice for the unjust. And with that said, you guys, blessings and good night.